Good morning, everybody. It is NBA Christmas Part 2. Free agency day is here. Lots of opt-outs last night. Lots of movement expected today. Will we see some blockbuster trades? I'm expecting one. I'm expecting an unexpected trade, whether it's the Lakers, whether it's the Jazz, Heat, Mavericks. We just know it's going to be busy. Thank you for everybody popping in today. You could be anywhere, but you're here giving us any part of your valuable time. I'm grateful. Thank you from me, and also thank you from everybody else who takes part. Simple show card today. It's real easy. You know, NBA free agency and NBA Twitter. What can go wrong? And if you like us, if you come in here and you listen to us every day, like go to YouTube and hit the subscribe button for us. Like I even made it easy. It's in a tweet, and all you have to do is actually do what the tweet says. Hit the little button, hit subscribe. As we grow, because that's what we're doing, there's going to be more content in another direction, getting ready for season 2 of Hoop Spaces, ladies and gentlemen. Big thank you to you. There's some shout outs below that I want to go ahead and give. Shout out to Brittany Harrison, ladies and gentlemen. Just subscribe to Hoop Spaces on YouTube. BRRG, KDBY, my man KP down there. My man Waj, WHR17, all appreciate you hitting that subscribe button over on YouTube. All right, hey, next question up. Who breaks more news, ladies and gentlemen, today? Who do you have? Do you have Woj with Woj bombs, or do you have Shams? Like, that is actually a question, and I think it's a question that we need to answer in a way that doesn't get me blocked. Because if you remember, Woj blocked me for almost a year. I definitely don't want that again. All right, good morning, people. If you don't want to come on up because you're working, or you don't want to request a mic because you're free or afraid, don't be. Come on up and talk. We won't bite. But if you look down below, there is a chat box. You can hop in there and say what's up to the good people of Hoop Spaces, just like CJ the Unathletic did. All right. There we go. Man, I got all of that done in the actual show with the song. That was pretty dope. Powered on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, by audiolabs.io. And we want to give a super big shout out to the Pickup Card Game joining us today. And if you don't know, he's in New York getting ready for a wonderful, wonderful weekend at the Rucker Park for all you who don't know. And I'm just absolutely thrilled to see the results of hard work with the team over at GameFlow. Pickup Card Game, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning, Chris. Good morning, man. I appreciate that love. I can't stay on too long, but I have to make sure I came to talk about a little NBA free agency. Happy free agency day, man. It's a beautiful day in NBA land.
Yeah, no, I definitely am excited. And coming off of the heels of a major trade, the Atlanta Hawks trade for the San Antonio Spurs, DeJounte Murray, a couple of unprotected picks, a protected pick, and a pick swap, and Danilo Gallinari, who's expected to be bought out. Kemba Walker, the trade process from New York to Detroit, he's expected to be bought out. And then a bevy of superstars opted out. James Harden, Bradley Beal, and some others. And we'll see where they get to go today. Up here on stage also, a host of The Rewind, who had a great space last night collaborating with the Dime Dropper Pod on Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain. If you haven't checked that out, like, it's recorded, and you should check it out because you get to learn something about two players whom, if you aren't above 60, you likely don't really have a recollection of. KP, the executive hater, host of KP Views, we still have this idea that we've put together loosely called Spaces Reviews. We're going to get that up and running, in good time. Life and family always come first. Maliika, KP, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning.
Good morning, good people. I'm going to rename myself Derail Revis because I'm about to derail the conversation. Shout out to Jalen Jacoby. Yeah, man, all you Marvel fans, all right? Are you guys going to watch Miss Marvel, or is it just going to be me, the guy that don't like Marvel, watching it and tweeting about it and commenting on it and supporting it? Get your life right. Get on Disney Plus. Watch the damn show. It's representative. It's good. It's fun. I know you Marvel fans don't like fun. Y'all need to have everything connected. Oh, this got to connect to that. If it don't connect, it don't work. Watch the damn show. And happy free agent day or happy Warriors Invitational.
Yeah, it's just like I find it funny, KP, that you keep doing this and like you sound like Marvel makes Batman movies. Like I just don't get
I'm
it.
glad they don't because people will hate them.
They're all pretty bad. Anyway, 808s is with us, and if you haven't followed 808s, you should. He's making a name for himself covering the Chicago Sky, ladies and gentlemen. You can catch him tweeting all about Courtney Vandersloot, who is having a phenomenal season, and he'll also tell you that Candace Parker is going to lead the Sky to the promised land once again. He is here to talk some W as well as NBA free agency. 808s, good morning.
Good morning, Chris. Good morning to good people of the Hoop Spaces. I come to you bearing a question. Why do only 6 of the 12 teams in the W have an app? I'll go to the app store, looking for a Dallas Wings app. There isn't one. So, that's my only question. I don't know why that is the case. Yes, Candace Parker, one of the greatest players to ever play the game of basketball, male or female or otherwise. There are 4 triple-doubles this season. She has 2 of them. Tonight on the Hoopstresses, shout out to them. We're going to talk about the Sky. We're going to talk about a lot of other things going on in the W in Week 8. And one thing that we're going to touch on also is how the Las Vegas Aces are just looking real scandalous in the light. I don't know. I see the Sky out here winning games. People don't think they can win. Out here closing the fourth quarters, closing second halves. And the numbers may look nice. Asia and Kelsey and everybody is doing their jobs, but I don't know. It just doesn't look fluid like it did through the first 10 games of the season. I don't know, Chris. We're going to have to have a conversation. Maliika.
Yeah, we're going to have to have a conversation. We'll definitely have it later. It should be interesting. Aces definitely are, and I expected them to eventually hit a patch. I mean, this is their patch. They'll get it together, I believe. But Chicago, we also know Chicago was going to do their thing and hit a stride too. So, I mean, it's a season, 808s. So.
I mean, the season is halfway, and coming to this season, Candace Parker said, we're not going to repeat going 16-16. This league is too talented, and they're here to let you know they are here.
They are here.
14-5.
Seattle,
The Aces are 14-4, right?
The Aces 14-5 as well.
14-5. Maliika, listen, the Liberty have been playing better offensively than the Aces have lately. Let's keep it a buck.
I keep it a buck. I mean, yeah. I'm a Liberty fan, so I'm happy my team is playing better. So let's get it.
We've got.
You know what, 808? Okay, I'm about had enough of your foolery. I say nice.
Already started. Like, we can't even get through the good mornings, people. Like, dang. Like, y'all don't really like each other right now. Like, I'm just trying to get some good mornings.
You know what's crazy?
I just wanted to say real quick. Oh, you still talk? Okay.
Maliika, go ahead.
I did. I just wanted to say good morning, everyone. Happy free agency day. Check us out with the Hoopstresses later. But today, happy free agency day, and hope the gods are in your favor, and you guys get the players that help your team. Like I want to see what the Nets do. Who are we signing today? Who are we signing is gonna help us from the bench. So let's see what happens.
Also on stage, I'm gonna just give everybody a huge shout out. We have Bankai, the show killer, Domo, CJ the Unathletic. We've got the best player in the series, who is the best player in the series because Bam wasn't. We also have Dany D, and from Project Spurs, we have Evan Townsend. Hey, we will be cycling people in and out. Like, it's just going to be one of those days. Do us the favor, like the show card up top, please like and retweet, answer the poll. And if you haven't yet and you like the Hoop Space, which by the way, we average right now, because the season's over and it tails off in the playoffs, we still average between 680 and 1,000 people a day. And we're only getting on average 23 people liking and retweeting. Like, I don't really understand this type of mentality, because in reality, what you're receiving is provided to you free, and like we can't get you to like and retweet. Like I find that kind of irritating, not gonna lie. Also, there is going to be Patreon added soon. We actually have it up and running, but I don't really particularly like to solicit. That's just not my style. However, some of the things that we want to do in the future is going to require some income. Like, it's going to require some investment, and I'm not going to ask any of the content creators to pay out of pocket because this is something that we are producing and providing. And I think going into the second season, asking for a little bit of support from the community we've built so that we can continue to do so, I think is actually, warranted at this point. Also, some news from last night. It's inescapable. I am not going to talk about this ad nauseum. I'm not going to even talk about it really at all. I'm going to acknowledge that Miles Bridges made an egregious error, and that the victim needs to actually be placed in a position of understanding what happened. And last night, NBA Twitter was not at its finest. Instead of acknowledging the victim and what happened, that's important, too many people are more worried about him messing up, making a dumb decision, and losing the bag. That ain't it, y'all. Like, that's not the right way to handle this. That's not a good human being. That is somebody who is just waiting for salacious news for entertainment purposes. Miles Bridges is alleged to commit a felony assault crime of domestic violence. The woman required medical attention, and until we get any more news, that is where I am leaving it. So if you do happen to want to speak on it, please, by all means, put it out in a tweet or go to another space. Here today, we're keeping it basketball, because in all honesty, if it happened to your mom, your sister, your cousin, your aunt, you wouldn't want this shit in public either. All right, so let's have some common decency for the victim and just hope that she gets all of the help that she needs, because it's only going to get worse as this progresses and it becomes more public. There, that is my statement. It is recorded. If you don't like it, I don't care. There we go. All right, we'll get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go to the very first person who hopped into the space that I saw, and that is Bankai, ladies and gentlemen. Bankai, good morning. How nervous are you about the Knicks and Jalen Brunson?
Hey, good morning. Good morning, everybody. I know first one, but I'm a little nervous, I suppose, because obviously the Dallas Mavericks are gonna meet with him first, I believe. I'm pretty sure we're gonna meet with him second because he's already here in New York. But there's a dark horse meeting apparently with the Miami Heat, and I solely believe that Pat Riley still looks to try and screw the Knicks whenever he gets a chance. So this might be like the last last one he tries, or maybe down the road, I don't know. But I know how that meeting is gonna go. Like, he's gonna sit there at the table in front of Brunson, just flash the rings and say like, "Hey, man, like, look at the rings, like, we got them." That's how that man operates. And then I'm pretty sure either Tyler Hero or somebody else is gonna give him a tour of like Miami and take him to the clubs and tell him about no state tax and all that other good stuff. So surprisingly, the Mavs don't worry as much as the Heat. And to all the people saying like, well, you'd be overpaying for Brunson if the Knicks get him. Listen, it's what the market dictates. I'm not a salary cap expert by any means, but I heard you breaking it down, Chris, yesterday, and plenty of people, and I don't see anything wrong. Like, if we were to get Brunson, like, I'd actually like the move. I know he would have a ton of pressure here from Knick fans, but someone realistic. Like, I'll just put realistic expectations on him. I think he can hit another ceiling. I don't know if he can hit like a superstar type of ceiling, but I think he can be a really good player overall.
Yeah, I don't understand the dislike for Jalen Brunson to the Knicks. If you pay attention to recruiting, he improved every year, and he won in high school. He improved every year at Villanova. The only difference was between his freshman and sophomore year. He ended up scoring like 1.3 points less per game, but all the other stuff was more attributable to scale. And then his junior year wins the national championship and improved to like 16-5. Um,
Yeah, and he also checks out the major checkbox that we've been needing for years now. I mean, he'd easily become the best point guard we've had in 10,
since
15
Charlie,
years. Easily.
since
I
Charlie,
mean,
that's a long time.
I know. I mean, like the three best point guards that we've had in like 10, 15 years are Raymond Felton twice, Derrick Rose twice, and Jeremy Lin for like, what was it, 2 weeks, 1 month of insanity, and that's it.
And Jason Kidd, but in his old age. But yeah,
Well,
for sure.
but
You're
Jason
right,
Kidd,
Bankai. Your point is well taken. The Knicks haven't had a
yeah,
good
but
point guard in
Jason
years.
Kidd, if you remember that season, Jason Kidd mostly played the two here along Raymond Felton.
Oh,
So the only time Jason Kidd did play the point guard was when Raymond Felton got hurt and he had to run it for like
he
a
just
couple of weeks.
yeah, that's all. Like you can't disrespect Jason Kidd wherever he goes. You got to throw him in there.
Oh, okay. I didn't throw him in there just because I viewed him more as a two in his time here. But yeah, I mean, Jason Kidd is Jason Kidd.
Jalen Brunson last season played in 79 games. He started 61. He averaged 32 minutes. He averaged all numbers rounded to the nearest whole number: 16 points, 5 assists, and 4 boards. Shooting 50% from the floor, 37 from three, and 84 from the line. And he did this playing next to the most ball dominant player in the NBA. So if he were to go to New York, it is, as everybody's saying, they're pitching him. You are the guy. You are the point guard. It is your show. Round the horn, everybody. What do we think? Jalen Brunson to the Knicks, to Miami, stays in Dallas. Will go first to pick up card game, which you can go right now if you have the ability to your Google machine on your phone and Google pick up card game and slam goods, and you'll be surprised. Up there in the first hyperlink will be slamgoods.com, where you can go pick up your copy of the pickup card game, who is right now, in this very moment, in New York City, getting ready to combine his powers with the powers of the New York Knicks and Adidas basketball to sponsor the Ruckus Summer Series. Pickup card game, go ahead. And then after you, we'll hear a Heat fans take with the best player, and we'll go from there. Thanks, everybody. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, I mean, really pumped about this Rucker Park activation. What came there yesterday for the first time, and it was so much love from the community. Adults, kids play the game, so great signs. We'll be back there today and Friday as well, and then I'm going off to Chicago for the All-Star game, the W All-Star game. I'll be in Las Vegas for Summer League. So, but yeah, I'm just pumped about Jalen Brunson because I think, to Bankai's point, the Knicks have not had a true point guard in a very long time, and I mean you have to pay market rate for a point guard, and so the Knicks are doing that. I think in terms of the kind of play he is, I think Brunson is a winner. To your point, Chris, he's won at different levels. He's shown that he can be a guy who plays next to a star and also can come up big when that star is injured. I mean, he played great when Luka was injured last year. So I think from a basketball standpoint, I'm all on board. I think in terms of his people, like his agency is CAA, which we know is Leon Rose's old agency. His dad's on the coaching staff now. There's a lot which points towards him being a Knick, but as a Knicks fan, I've learned not to expect anything. So, like, if he goes to Miami, good for him, right? I think Miami's a good fit. Kyle Lowry's not the guy in Miami, so he'll plug right into our point guard spot. But I think from an optics standpoint, all roads point to New York. I think from a basketball standpoint, New York makes sense too.
All right. Um, Bam, what's up? Well, best player, because you keep changing your name until you stop.
Good morning, Chris. How are you?
How you doing?
Doing all right. Yeah, looking forward to free agency, but honestly, I don't think it's going to be too active for the Heat, at least not day one. I honestly think Bankai and Knicks fans have nothing to worry about, in my opinion. I think where there's smoke, there's fire, and in this situation between Brunson and the Knicks, it's looking like, Snoop Dogg's studio is a lot of smoke, like too much. Like if they don't lose a second round pick to a tampering charge, I'd be surprised at this point. I would love to get Brunson, but I think the trade is just really complicated for us. It would have to be a sign and trade. And I just think he's really just leveraging, just adding one more team into the mix to try to leverage the Knicks into making sure they give him as much as they possibly can. So I really think he'll be a Knick like as soon as he can be. So I'm not really, I wouldn't be too worried if I was Knicks fans. But as far as the Heat, I think we'll make some moves on the margins. PJ seems like he's gone to the Sixers, so I'm interested to seeing what they do to fill that gap now.
All right. We'll go to Dany D, CJ, KP, Maliika. If you guys want to hop in here and talk real quick, Jalen Brunson and Knicks, go ahead. If not, we got some other players that we're going to go to. And the way I look at it is I've got a player list in front of me that y'all don't have in front of y'all, right? So when you talk about it, make sure you add your team and what you want to see your team do or what you're expecting while you have the time. That way, I can make sure you get all of your take in here, and I don't feel bad putting you down to bring the hands up. All right? Dany, go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. It's a wonderful day. I took a me day from work, and I walked the dogs, and now they're asleep, and I took a shower, washed my hair. I'm relaxed now. Hope everybody is going to have a great weekend and all that. Sorry to see it looks like Golden State is not going to keep JTA, which I figured they weren't. And I hope I pronounced this right. Forgive me. Chris Jasizo? I might be getting it wrong. Okay. Yeah, I know. I figured they weren't going to resign those two. Hopefully they land somewhere because they're good energy guys, including JTA. And I mean Juan, Toscana, Anderson for those who are trying to figure who JTA is. And I meant to get this off my chest the other day because we didn't have Spaces Monday. But fuck that damn Sophie Cunningham. How dare she sit and talk about fuck Tina Charles? Look, y'all the functional Phoenix Phoenix Mercury over there fighting amongst each other. Got that crazy Diana Taurasi. Tina Charles has won more and accomplished more than Sophie Cunningham is. And I felt that was disrespectful. And I'm mad at all those Mercury team members who got in that chant talking about fuck Tina Charles. I did not appreciate that. And as much as I love my aces, and as much as I would love to see the Sky repeat, that would be nice for CP3. At the same time, I would love to see Tina Charles win a ring. She's well deserving, former MVP, and for her to be verbally assaulted like that because she wanted to leave. She knew it wasn't a match for her, and she had every right to leave that damn team. And you know what? I don't wish no harm on anybody. It took all my might not to wish that girl to mess up a knee. But you know what? I didn't like that. And that's just horrible. Maliika and all them probably know. I know Maliika like, save that for the Spaces tonight. Girl, I had to get that off my chest because that pissed me off and I was still holding on to it. Other than that, I'm looking forward to free agency.
Sour grapes.
It ain't sour grapes. You know, you saw that 808. And you know that was disrespectful to Tina Charles. She's a great player and a winning player. And
who forced her way out of a situation because she realized she wasn't going to win the chip. We got to stop coddling these players like we coddle everybody else, man.
Boy, hush. You leave jobs just like everybody else does. You got a right to be happy. They're employers like everybody else.
But don't expect to get praised for it.
Well,
it wasn't a good situation for her.
The issue is that she can leave the job.
Right.
The chant against her, that isn't the job. That's the co-workers. So obviously there was something between her and the co-workers enough where the co-workers felt that they could do it. And that's
are we surprised? It's Phoenix. I mean, come on.
But still, she's not just an ordinary player. She might not have won chip yet, but she was an MVP more than Sophie Cunningham. And I got issue with Sophie Cunningham since she been at Missouri and the shit she did to South Carolina, how them people in Missouri cheated Dawn Staley in South Carolina out that win and all that crap. Don't get me started. I
You
know
hear
I
that
have history
passion?
with that girl.
We're
Okay.
gonna get KP in here because I know he's got some.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's all I got. I don't want to take no time up for everybody else for right now. I'm not going to get into 808's negativity. It's a beautiful day. Chris, I love the spaces. You're so positive. Thank you.
Appreciate it. And don't worry, you're gonna be able to drive out there and watch Domo put buckets up on him, and you can watch 808.
What buckets?
The buckets of rain that is supposed to be falling on you as Damo hits these amazing step back threes. That's what he was talking about. CJ the
Listen, I'm off at
unathletic.
5. We're gonna figure this out.
Yeah, all right. KP or CJ, which one of y'all going?
Yeah, let me just go real quick. I'm gonna be really fast. Hopefully the Spurs buy out Danilo Gallinari and the Warriors pick him up. That'll be a great pickup for them. Shout out to Jalen Brunson. Go get your money wherever it may take you. Them dollars spend the same up north. You may get more for your money down south. I don't know about Dallas. I've never been there, or to Texas, of that matter. Make sure you guys pay attention to what's going on in the world. Basketball is love. I don't love everybody, but I respect people. So if you come into my mentions and you start talking spicy, I will return with spice. You guys are very sensitive sometimes. So yeah, man, just have a great day, everyone. I hope your team fails. I hope you don't get any player that you was looking for. I hope the player that you get, the team before that gets them. How about that? How about those apples? All right? Shout out to KD.
I want Gary Payton II. That's who I want. It's not going to happen though.
At least you got PJ
Just
Tucker
won a
now.
championship a couple weeks ago. Y'all, Jesus Christ, man.
Well, no,
Wait, so are you doing any suicides for this game? You doing any suicides?
No, but I got some stretches.
Now
Man,
you know good and well that man can't do a suicide, KP.
Are y'all really expecting Domo to run me out like he's a dude? He's not a track star. What are we doing?
Are you a runner though?
I'm
Are you a
coming
runner or
up.
a track star?
I have I actually was a Division I track recruit. I still have my letters from Louisiana Lafayette there.
Yeah, I'm about to decide. I'm gonna tell you 808s.
It was a decade ago, but still.
You might have picked off something. You might not. Want to actually go through.
Listen, man. Okay, we'll see. We'll see Friday. Okay. I'm kind of getting tired of this shit. I ain't gonna lie.
No. I said today.
We'll talk about on Friday. We gonna talk about it.
You're right. My fault.
Yeah, when you lose. So
Evan, you get this.
Wait till Saturday, and I will pull up and I will mediate. No fouls, no pushing, no shoving, no harsh tweeting. I will make sure it's a fair game. I got you guys.
Listen,
I will be there.
Drop the Addy. I will pull up.
No, 808 today. Today.
Yo, Domo, I know.
Pull up. I already took the gas pass request.
CJ, hop in here. What you got?
So as far as the Brunson thing, I agree with Bankai about it being complicated for Miami, because unless Miami is going to do a sign and trade Lowry and his BBL booty, shout out to Dany D, to Dallas, I don't see that happening, and I don't think Dallas would even want Kyle Lowry, to be honest. So I don't think Miami is a reasonable destination. To Bankai's point as well, I do think that's probably leverage more than anything. I do think he ends up possibly either New York or Dallas. And then the other thing I wanted to bring up just really quick, because KP was talking about Marvel fans. I do watch Miss Marvel, and it is a great show. Just throwing that out there real quick.
And Miss Marvel would beat Batman.
Hey Chris, really quick. I don't want to cut anybody off, but I didn't say that technically. Credit goes to best player in the series. I think he's the one who said that about Jalen Brunson.
My fault.
Yeah, it's okay.
My fault.
Give Bankai a point. Look at that. Evan, go ahead. I'm gonna get you up here, Papi Chulo. Don't worry.
I'm still on the bandwagon that Jalen Brunson is going to be in a sign and trade one way or another involving Julius Randle. I'm not sure if Julius is going to end up in Dallas,
thank God, please.
But yeah, I don't see anything else happening besides something on the lines of that. When dominoes fall, like the Russell Westbrook, the John Wall, DeJounte Murray getting traded. It's all leverage moves to see what your client can do if he's better than him, or if he's worse than them. Kyrie opted into his contract. All these people are going to be, I don't want to say tiers ahead of Jalen Brunson, but he's going to get the most out of what he can. So whether if it's an extension, whether if it's, I don't even know the details of it, because that's how out of it I've been with the NBA news lately, because I need a break with this NBA draft stuff. So just know that he's going to get his bag one way or another, and he's going to be the starting point guard for the Knicks. I think that's like a lock. So.
Yeah. All right, we've got our first domino, as Evan said, falling. Jay Crowder in a cryptic tweet, sunglasses, prayer, demon emoji. I've seen him linked to Miami. I've seen him linked to Boston. I've also seen him linked to Dallas. With that, I think he knows he's going somewhere, and I think he knows he's getting his bag. And I want to say it's probably Miami to replace PJ Tucker. Shout outs down below, because we got a whole bunch of people in here. I want to give a big shout out to all of the Mavs fans. Papi Chulo is about to come up on stage. He, Speak On It Rolo, and Jazz, a.k.a. Scammer Sultan, host 77 Spaces for us, your best Dallas Mavericks talk here. Will is in the building. At Biased Houston is the handle. Catch up with the Bordeaux and Will show here on Spaces, talking Houston Rockets. John Lynch from Business Insider is in here. DC's in the building. Don Knock is part of that great crew here on Spaces covering the Houston Rockets. TJ Kiesel, Amon, Don, Jay from BK. It's a great day. It is our day if you are a basketball fan. And all of these people eventually will have their own spaces, so make sure you shoot them a follow, because they all provide dope content. 808s, hop up in here.
You know, Chris, throughout this entire process, I just feel like it's been real scandalous the way the Knicks have went after Jalen Brunson. And apparently a lot of people in the league feel this way too. And I just find it funny. You know, they swinging everything they got just to end up being the 6th seed in the East. Like, it's funny to me, you know?
Well, you know, we don't have that many Knicks fans up here, but I'll let both of them respond.
I mean, the Knicks are building towards something more. They end up being the 6th seed next season. Then
the Knicks been building since Reagan. I ain't trying to hear that shit.
Oh, okay. Well,
Reagan.
Okay. What does it matter? What do you want them to win a championship now or something like that? They're building. To give them time. They just got Leon Rose.
How much time y'all need?
The new regime is doing everything right by the book since they got here. So they're doing it the right way.
The last time y'all won a championship, I think my mom was in kindergarten, bro.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. So what does that mean? Like,
he's just pushing buttons. That's all.
That's okay. There's none pushed because
poll is up. Did Jalen Brunson? Did the Knicks tamper with Jalen Brunson? Yes or no?
No, I actually think Cedric kind of broke this down the other day in a tweet. I'll try to find it and post it, but he kind of broke it down pretty well. Where, like, you know, what type of tampering are you really going to put on them when, like, they hired his dad? The guy who's the GM is his godson. Like, there's so many different things that I think they thought about way ahead of time in order to avoid actual tampering charges.
All right, Maliika, you want to hop up in here?
Yeah, I just want to say for the Nets, in particular, I wouldn't mind them seeing them go after Otto Porter Jr. I don't think, PJ Washington's going to be available in light of last night's news. That was a player that some in its Twitter were coveting. He's definitely not going to be traded now. So, we'll see what they do. But Otto Porter Jr. is a player I got my eye on. I don't know about DeAndre Ayton and us being able to acquire DeAndre Ayton, to be honest. I know some people, talked about that, but Otto Porter Jr. to me seems like a realistic player, we can add. So, and also some other 3-and-D wings to see if they can acquire them somehow. So that's where my head's at when I'm watching for with the Nets.
All right. I actually think the Nets can be active. They just have to decide whether or not they're going to move Joe Harris. And if they move Joe Harris, I actually see a lot of different pathways for the Nets to improve, which is actually
Chris.
I mean,
All right.
we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see, right? We'll
What's
see. I just don't want to put too much out there. I see Jason became that, but I just,
I think we might.
moving Joe Harris. I will see, man. We'll
Do you
see.
think they'll keep Claxton though?
Best player. What do you got?
I think we got some breaking news. Tim Reynolds just said the Heat are not planning to meet with Jalen Brunson today, and they did not have such a meeting scheduled per league source.
That's why I put that poll out there.
Listen, man, we know what it is. It's just a smoke signal trying to back up off the Knicks, man.
This just tells me that the Knicks deserve to have 2 picks taken away from them for sure.
All right, so there you go. Like the poll question's out there. Did the Knicks tamper with Jalen Brunson? Yes or no? I want to shout out Sage Monroe putting in the best gift right now after somebody said Julius Randle to the Dallas Mavericks. And to that effect, we're going to move to Papi Chulo and Ishaan, 2 dope Mavs fans. And I've already given you that Papi Chulo here, Jose. He, Speak On It, Rolo, and Scammer Sultan, that's Jazz. Run 77 spaces. So we'll give them a couple of minutes here. Jalen Brunson to the Knicks. It seems like it's a locked deal. Mark Cuban is doing the DeAndre Jordan thing again. Do you guys think it's going to work out? What do you see happening? What do you want the Mavs to do? We'll go to Jose first and then Shawn after you.
What's up, everybody? Good morning. Good morning, Hoop Spaces. Appreciate y'all for doing the space, and I'm ready for free agency. I feel like this is actually New Year, Chris, and not Christmas, because I mean, after the draft, it's pretty much like the turning of the calendar, and then everybody's basically gonna know where they're about to be laid up at. You know, you gotta get acquainted with the new restaurants in your city. You know, new year, new me. A lot of these players played their best basketball in their final year of the deal. So, you know, they're gonna be looking to settle down somewhere. So, with Jalen Brunson, I feel like a part of me wants to say the Knicks tampered. I mean, you're going to the playoff games. Uh, Julius Randle, I could bypass and say, no, I mean he's here. He's a native, but you got maybe Leon Rose there as well. And then not only that, I mean his damn agent is his godfather's son. I mean, how much oblivious can you be to say, oh, this is not tampering here? I mean, it's family ties, but there, I feel like there's enough evidence to say, yeah, there was some tampering going on here. Do I care if the Knicks get them? I mean, a part of me does, but at the same time, I can't stress about shit I ain't got no control over. Mark Cuban is finally going to get his ass up and go to a meeting that actually counts in the free agency. So I'm really interested to see. I mean, I really hope that if they're going, they know what their plan is going to be if they aren't able to retain Jalen Brunson. Because if this thing has been kind of a lock from all the reporting, whether it's Mark Stein, Jake Fisher, and they're saying, oh, the Mavs have been embracing this for weeks. And then also listened to a pod this morning with Mark Stein and Jake Fisher both saying like, you know, there is pretty much a guarantee that this is a done deal. Like, I mean that was Cal Lowry last year, and he got penalized for it. So I just feel like there's enough breadcrumbs there for you to give your answer. Who I want the Mavericks to get in free agency. It's pretty much a toss up. I'll be glad if we could get another defensive wing. I know your 76ers are trying to get rid of Thibault. What what would we have to give up in order to get Thibault off your hands, Chris?
Oh, well, they're not trying to give up Thibault. They're trying to move Thibault to free up cap space and another position. I've said it before, like this idea of moving Thibault is really more of a carrot to move Tobias Harris. So if you want Thibault, that's the pathway. Either figure out a way to absorb Tobias Harris or find a third team to take him. right? Like that, it goes back to me saying they shouldn't have traded Ben Simmons for James Harden until the offseason, because you're going to have the leverage if James Harden didn't want to go anywhere other than Philly. And in that way, like, you would still be able to trade for James Harden after you put, Tobias and Ben Simmons together. And to me, I think it was just a bad move by Daryl Morey. But it is what it is. If I had to move Thibault, I would request a future first round pick and an expiring contract. Like, that's just what I would say.
So 2027
Yeah,
and Dwight
2027,
Powell.
top 12 protected, conveys 2029, top 8 protected. And if it doesn't convey, then it turns into 2 future seconds.
What about Dwight Powell?
We don't. It's too high. We're bringing in PJ Tucker at 10, so no.
Fuck. Trying to think. Josh Green.
Nah, because he's not as good as Matisse Thybulle. Like, what are we doing? Like, stay on Sugar Glider Island with Rolo, man. Like, it's all good.
Hey, Chris. All these GMs are trying to finesse. I mean, if there's a way Nico could pull that off, I'm just gonna be celebrating in our group chat.
Like, the killer part. I'm not going to say that because I don't want to get blocked. I don't want to get blocked. Ishaan, hop up in here. What do you think about your Mavs? What do you got? We got CJ Bankai and Wada West coming up next. Go ahead, Ishaan.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Free Agency Day. Just quickly before I talk about Brunson, so Dalton Trigg had already spoken about he wrote a piece about the Matisse Thybulle possible trade. Apparently, Philly want Dorian, and I don't think that's a no-go. No chance that Dallas will part with Dorian Finney-Smith for Matisse Thybulle. So I think that trade might be dead unless Nico can pull something off and sell Mori on the potential of Josh Green. I think that's a dead trade. We're not getting Matisse Thybulle. But it's a really tough offseason for the Mavs. I think we are in one of the biggest lose-lose situations right now. Either we just lose Jalen Brunson for absolutely nothing, or we try to force a sign and trade and get pieces that we don't necessarily want, just so that we can say we did not lose him for nothing. And I don't think the tampering charge will actually stick. It's impossible. We've seen this before in the NBA. It's very hard to prove that tampering has actually happened unless a team straight up reports on something before they should have. So I doubt that anything comes of this tampering thing. It's just a nice story, because obviously there was tampering. It's impossible to say it wasn't, with Rick Brunson talking to the Mavs, working at the Knicks. He's basically an intermediary, but again, because he's his father, you can't really limit conversation between those two parties. So I don't think the tampering charge will stick. The Mavs still I'm actually not too miffed about losing a guard. I'm miffed about the guard being Jalen Brunson, but everyone knows that the keys are with Luka. So I think this just puts him in a position to take the keys a little more. And if his conditioning is better, he might be able to play a little longer. Like the 10 minutes we were giving Brunson or Dinwiddie to run the floor, now you maybe split those 10 minutes with Dragic and Dinwiddie and hope that Luka can carry you for the other 38. And that's not realistic. So, of course, we're kind of screwed. But yeah, we have Christian Wood is still a fantastic addition. And I think right now with the doom and gloom around Brunson, I think Wood has fallen out of our minds. Jaden Hardy is young, but he might provide something interesting. There are other wings like Tim Hardaway Jr. coming back. I think the Mavs should try to move him at this point. He's on a team-friendly contract. I know he's getting paid a lot, but it's a decreasing salary. So some teams are into stuff like that. But I don't know what the Mavs can do without giving up draft capital, and I don't want the Mavs to give up too much draft capital because this is the first year of Luka's extension. And if things don't stick now, we're in a way worse position a few years from now. So it's a really tough offseason that I think 6 p.m. is going to kick off with the announcement of Jalen Brunson to New York. And then it's all all the balls, everything is in the court of Nico Harrison and Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban, who lied to the entire world and said he'll pay whatever to keep Jalen Brunson, and then lowballed him again when the Knicks gave him a better contract. It's incredible to me what's happened. Like, we've gone from the top of the mountain to quite like low right now, but there are like the contracts that we have, we can move stuff. There are a lot of optimistic trades going around. At least make one, at least sign one good player on the MLE. Hopefully we can get one of those minimums that like a player has undervalued himself or needs to prove himself. So yeah, that's about it.
All right, love it. Go ahead, Jose. Finish us up on some Mavs talk, and then we're going to move on to get other people's thoughts real quick on the Mavs and other stuff. We got Bankai, CJ, and Water West coming up. If you want to come on up, ladies and gentlemen, raise the hands, and we will cycle people in. I see Shawn with the W coming off a great live from the Mecca is in the building. A little bit later on, I'm going to request individual specific people to come up to talk about their teams so we can make sure that we have as much representation available. And to do that, in effect, I want to give some shout outs again. I see our man Larry Golden is in the building. Definitely going to want to get him up here if possible. Justin Patton is in the building for the Celtics. We'll look out for Reese Rebel 31. And Artie's in the building. Artie Bays is in the building. Would definitely love to hear him talk about these New York Knicks, maybe if he's got some time. Up next, though, we're going to go back to Bankai, who's going to give us his thoughts, his final take, then CJ, and then best player, and then we'll go to Water West. Thank you, everybody. Good morning.
Thank you, Chris. Ishaan, how would you like Julius Randle in a sign and trade?
Okay. After Jose.
Oh, my bad. Show killer.
It's okay. It wasn't your fault, so no show killer yet. Go ahead, Papi.
So, back to what I was saying about listening to the podcast I had listened to this morning. I believe it was Mark Stein on Kevin O'Connor's podcast. So just in case anybody wants to go and listen to that themselves, um, he said basically like it kind of rubs other GMs the wrong way when you have like Knicks officials go to Mavs games and scout like Brunson and Donovan Mitchell, and they say like here's the thing, everybody knows tampering is in the NBA. Everybody knows that they do it, but the part that rubs other GMs the wrong way and what has rubbed like maybe the Mavs front office the wrong way is that they're doing it in broad daylight, and that's why I'm like, okay, I mean, get better at your job as well. Like, if you're gonna tamper, I mean, go all out because the NBA has shown that it doesn't really punish people really like for tampering. I mean, you lose the second round draft pick. The Knicks just moved like years in advance second round draft picks. So I applaud the Knicks for doing that. Like, I'm not mad at them going after their guy. Probably what frustrates me as a Mavs fan is like the Mavericks front office as a collective, whether it's the old regime or the new regime, just needs to get better at doing their damn jobs. I mean, you celebrating a guy who spent 42 years here in Dallas as a salary cap manager, and what did that bring you? You have no future first rounders that you could potentially package if you were to retain Jalen Brunson to get that quote unquote second star. And that's why I go back to you need to start building within because, I mean, damn, at some point you got to give a damn about all avenues that you could acquire talent. But 77 Spaces will go 30 minutes live before free agency starts. If you're a Mavs fan or you just want to come in and you know talk about Jalen Brunson, that's fine. We'll talk about it, and we'll be watching the all the bombs go off today. So I appreciate you, Chris. Hey, Chris, if you need any help, like getting other future things going, like let me know, bro. Cause I mean, I'm a part of this community. I'm willing to put my own money up to help us grow.
I appreciate that, Jose. And like you and Rolo coming aboard, like you would come in and listen you guys talked about it amongst yourselves, saying, "Hey, I kind of want to do what you're doing before the Mavs," and like from day one, I told you to do it, and I'm very happy seeing what you and Rolo and Jazz have built over the course of the last half of the season, and I can't wait until next season, man. Stay up here though for another couple minutes. You too, Ishaan, because I know there might be some Mavs questions. We'll go to Bankai, CJ, best player in 5, and then we're going to go to Water West. Thank you, everybody. Good morning.
Thank you, Chris. All right. So, was there? I'll stay corrected on what I said a bit earlier. Was there some form of tampering? You know what? Yes, but I don't think it was outright tampering. I think what the Knicks did is they found the loopholes in the tampering and they operated within the loopholes. So it's like basically, how are you gonna, get them in trouble for, Leon Rose and I guess William Wesley, whatever. How are you going to get them in trouble for being at the Mavs game with Julius Randle? Like, is it against the rules to attend a playoff game? I don't believe so, right? Is it against the rules for, a father to talk about, to talk to his son who's currently living in New Jersey in the same roof as you? I don't believe so. It just so happens that his father works for the Knicks. So what I'm saying is they covered all the bases with loopholes. So technically, when people, and this is going to happen, I know it's going to happen down the line or maybe not, but people are going to say, well, the Knicks tampered, try to take a pick away from them, 2 picks away from them. And when that happens, I think they'll have all the bases covered and they'll give all the evidence and say like, hey, listen, I don't believe it's against the rules for a father to talk with his son, even if he works for the Knicks, right? I don't believe it's against the rules to go to a playoff game and watch Jalen Brunson play and Donovan Mitchell play. And I'm sure they thought about a bunch of other loopholes that they just took advantage of. I mean, I understand. As a Mavs fan, I'd be upset. If I was a Mavs fan, I'd be upset, right? Like I think like, okay, this is kind of like a little slimy, but at the end of the day, as a Knicks fan, hey, they did what they had to do to get their man, and sometimes you have to play a little dirty. You know what I mean?
Do you? Like, do you? Like, I mean,
You'd be surprised. I mean, like, listen, you can try to follow the rules as much as possible, but when I tell you, if you find a loophole that can help you achieve what you have to achieve, sometimes you just have to take it. I mean, listen, the Knicks have been desperate for a point guard. Like, I'm telling you that they probably went over every single scenario in which they couldn't be found for like actual tampering, and they took it and they laid out the plan, and that's just how it worked out by any means possible.
all right. You had a question earlier. What's your question?
Did I?
You were talking about something about Dubious Randle.
Oh, yeah. I was going to ask you, Shawn, hey, and Jose, hey, do you guys want Julius Randle and a sign and trade? You can have him.
I guess we'll take him. Like, it's still something, like, at least we're not losing Luka for nothing. And I know Julius Randle's coming off like a really down year, but he was most improved player. He was all NBA. He was an all-star. So I guess there's something there. I don't think you say no to a handout, because my theory is if it's a sign and trade, that means the Mavs have some uh, proof of tampering, and it's just to quiet the Mavs down. Hey guys, it's fine.
It's like you guys say, it's better to lose them, getting something in return than not getting anything at all.
For sure.
Or maybe
we
Evan
completely
Fournier.
capped out.
He's a good shooter.
No, so the thing, I'm worried that Cuban does not want to pay the luxury tax. So at that point, would he rather just lose Brunson than take on the 22 million that Randall needs to be paid next year? So it's like a question of that. Like, it's about where Cuban's heads at, and no Mavs fan can predict that because he straight up lied to us. So like, what can you even say?
Yeah,
Hey, Sean, you know what's funny?
Chris, you know what I appreciate though? Oh, my bad. I appreciate how civil Mavs fans have been throughout the whole process. Like, they haven't been salty. They haven't been calling Jalen Brunson trash and saying like, "Oh, well, he can go and whatever."
Oh, wait, hold on.
I haven't seen it,
different, bro.
You haven't seen it, and you want people to be gracious for coming in their kitchen and stealing their food.
No,
Listen,
they
bro,
don't
cut the shit.
have to. But I'm
I
saying, like,
understand,
I
but
haven't
it's been
seen it.
greasy the entire time. You got Mark Cuban out here retweeting pictures of Christian Wood and Jade. But bro, come on, man. What we
No,
doing?
I'm talking about Mavs fans.
I
Like the
understand. I'm not even
Mavs
talking
fans
about that. I'm talking
that
about
I
Mark Cuban.
interact with and I've seen, I haven't seen them do any of that stuff.
That's the key statement. The ones that you
What you've seen.
CJ, hop in here, and then best player in 5, then Water West, then we'll reset the room and move on to the next team. Thank you, everybody. Good morning.
I just think it's funny that Bankai is pushing hard to pawn off Julius Randle onto the Mavs. Like, Julius Randle and Christian Wood would be a great front court. Like, come on, man. Like, that's what's funny to me. And, like, people are really sitting there just like, yeah, sure. Like, nobody's calling Bankai out for it. Like, why would you do – Mavs fans don't want that. You don't want Christian Wood and Julius Randle as your front court. Like, you guys are going to be pissed off all season long if you have Julius Randle and Christian Wood as your front court. And then, Chris, I got a question for you because you a Philly fan. It looks like James Harden is really trying to help his boy Daryl Morey out and build this team better. So I'm curious your thoughts on the contract you think he gonna get, and then how soon are y'all gonna get rid of Tobias Harris, bro?
I love this question because I get to give myself a point for being right. I like being right. Being right feels good. I suggest y'all try being right because it really does. It feels wonderful. I said it. I have a tweet that I should put out there. I just don't feel like looking for it. That Harden was going to take less, and then people said he's not going to turn down the money. And I said,
saw that tweet, Chris.
He's going to turn down the 47. He's going to pick up a 3 for 90. He's going to give the Sixers $11 to $16 million in practical cap space. And they're going to do it in a way where they don't have to sign him until he's the last player. So they are literally, Morey is in his office with his cap guys going down to the last dollar of every single potential move they can make. And that's something that a lot of people don't like because it was born out of this Sloan MIT conference era stuff with this advanced analytics and value charts. But like literally, there are probably 200 different iterations on the Google spreadsheet that have different ways that they can go depending upon who's available and who signs. So in regards to getting Tobias Harris, if they can't move him for something they think works, they don't have to any longer. And that was the key. And that was really because Harden said, you know what? I'm going to take more money and more years, leave the 17 mil on the table, and just chalk it up because I told everybody I want to win a championship. Everybody's laughing at me saying I'm not. And then what does he do? He goes back and turns the clock and starts training like he's 25 again. So, like, this is the type of motivation you want to see. But I don't see Tobias Harris easily being moved off the Sixers.
I mean, there was a tweet the other day that said he was willing to take in the mid-30s, and I found that tweet. It's the second to last one before Shawn put that one up there.
Wait,
Yeah.
so
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, so regardless of what happens, you would be okay with keeping Tobias Harris? Like, I
mean,
don't see.
It's yeah. I think he's a great player. I think, especially in Doc's system, I just think he's not a good fit next to Embiid because they tend to like push him in the corner.
Got you. And then did you see the tweet from Victor Oladipo? I kind of posted it in the Jumbotron a minute ago. That was kind of interesting.
Are you talking about the one he did last night? Or did you put? Is he give a new one out?
Nah, he got a new one out this morning that he posted with the Willy Wonka meme, and then like he got the wolf emoji. Like that's the only thing he put in the tweet outside of the meme.
Yeah, I think he's staying.
In Miami.
Yeah,
I get the feeling he's gone.
I think he's staying. I think like the wolf. I think aspect is him being a lone wolf and him believing that a lot of people think because of the injuries he's no longer a top player, and he believes he can still be a top player like 30, 31, right? The reason why I think he stays is I think by the time 6 p.m. rolls around, Miami, we'll go to best play after this. Miami's going to be left with minimal options in the beginning, and they can pay him the most, right?
Real quick, Chris,
yeah.
before you go to best player, I just want to give a shout out to Pickup Card Game because
What?
I just ordered mine this morning. So can't wait to get it, bro, and can't wait to play it. So I just want to give you that shout.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, CJ. Thank you so much, man.
Oh, yeah, that was long overdue. I've been trying to do it, and I keep forgetting. And I was like, when you brought it up this morning, I said, God damn it, I'm going to do it.
There you go. That's what we do. We're spreading the love, ladies and gentlemen, of the greatest game in the world, in my opinion. Like, you know what? Sidetrack here. My son made the swimming team. Most of y'all know this if you're listeners. My son has never really been overly, outwardly competitive. But the fun thing is watching him grow and develop is really cool. But I have to meet all these parents, right? And I'm telling you, the swimming world is completely different. None of them like basketball. And so somebody asked me, like, what do you do? And like I had to explain to them what I do here. And like it was absolutely as farcical as you can imagine. Like it was really, really bad. I should write a thread about it. Anyway.
Hey Chris,
what's up?
Allegedly I heard that a pickup card game is a great game to play when you gambling. Allegedly.
Well, it's a great family game, and I use it as such. My son and I play. We don't play every day. It's in our rotation with Yahtzee and chess, and it comes with this great set of die. It's not like your normal, you buy a 6-pack of dice. They're white and black. Nah, these are orange, and like they're really flashy. And you can throw them, and you can roll them, you can spin them, and these numbers pop up. I don't know if money exchanges hands, like it happens. But slamgoods.com, pickup card game, is where you can go to pick it up and try it out for yourself. Just throw a couple of $5 bills down there. If people know, people know.
I got 5 on it.
Point for 808s. Best player available. Let's talk Heat. Let's talk Tucker. Let's talk Oladipo. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, my bad. Who were you saying that you thought was not leaving Miami?
I think by 6 p.m., most of the ground on free agency is going to be set, and I think Depot and Miami will realize that is still the best place for Depot.
Depot. Okay, yeah, actually, I hope so. I really do hope they're able to retain him because I think he's going to be really good next season. I mean, he showed enough flashes to where like I think the Indiana Depot is gone, but he can be some kind of facsimile of that guy, like 80% of him or something like that. So I'm hoping we do retain him. And would look forward to how he's going to perform after having a full off season in first time in 2 years. But Chris, I want to ask you how you felt about PJ Tucker, because I do believe that he's going to be a Sixer in my opinion. And I did want to follow up what you were saying about Harden taking the pay cut. I'm not a Harden fan at all, but we got to give him his credit for that. Honestly, like I think he deserves his credit because he's doing what he can in his power to try to help the Sixers win right now, and that's admirable for him. So credit to him. But I wanted to ask you what you thought about giving PJ the 3 for $30 deal and how you think he'll fit with the Sixers.
I dislike the deal. I dislike the deal so much. I'm not in the habit of giving a 37-year-old power forward, who, by the way, is a 37-year-old smaller power forward, a 3-year deal with years and money guaranteed. I almost would have rather paid him 15 for one than eat these next 2 years. But in the way that the world works, it makes James Harden happy, and more importantly, it makes Joel Embiid happy. And I don't care what anybody says. Player happiness is a quantifiable metric on the success of a basketball team. And teams that tend to have locker rooms that are less contentious seem to do better in the playoffs. PJ Tucker does a marvelous job of fitting in and stabilizing culture. And that is why they're giving him this deal. So, like, yay, plus on PJ, boo, negative on the 3-year deal, though. Like, yeah.
And just one more question: is he? I guess if you're paying him that much, he's going to be starting, right? So are they sliding down Tobias, I guess, to the 3, or how do you think the roster's construction?
My guess is they make Tobias the 6th man.
Wow, that's incredible, in my opinion.
All right, okay. So the reason why I see them making him the 6th man is I think PJ Tucker gets 26 minutes, right? Like that's what I see him getting per game. And if he's getting 26 minutes at the power forward position, Tobias Harris ain't guarding your wings. Like it's just not going to happen. So right now, if everything stands as is, you're going in with Harden, Maxey, Thibault, Tucker, Embiid. Tobias comes off the bench with DeAnthony Melton, and then those are your 7. And then you're really looking in free agency for 3 more players. I personally would like for them to make a run at Dante DiVincenzo. I think he would be a great fit for them. I think he'd be a great fit for the Knicks, and I think he'd be a great fit for the Mavs. That's who I would go to. Hope that answered your question.
Thank you, Chris.
Yep. 808s, hop in here before we head over to Shawn.
Hey, man, Maxey with another full offseason. You're going to be fighting for a bench all-star spot. That's what I'm calling it.
Yeah, I think he starts. I don't think they're going to bring him off the bench.
I'm talking about the all-star game.
Oh, the all-star? Yeah, I think if he starts, I think he actually might make the all-star game.
Yeah.
There's actually an ability, and I said this, and like then people realize I am a Sixers fan. Like he can actually outproduce or outscore Harden this year.
Yeah, like I saw him play live in Dallas for the first time ever. Like, listen, man, the way he's so energetic off the bounce, man. It's really good.
Yeah. Shawn, host of Live from the Mecca with Cedric Shine and Jeff J. Says. We had a dope space last night. I was happy to come through and chop it up with a whole bunch of New York Knicks fans. You guys were talking about Jalen Brunson. Answer the question first. Do you think there's tampering? And then go off and say whatever you want to say.
Absolutely, it was tampering. Guess what? Who cares? Do something. Everyone tampers. Everybody.
You better lose some picks then, Shawn, because we lost a pick for tampering for Kyle.
That's because you dumbasses announced a sign-in trade 2 minutes into free agency. It's just stupid. Like, you can't do that. Like, how did you work on a sign-in trade in 5 minutes? Like, you gotta be a little smarter than that. That's what I'm talking. Listen, everyone tampers. You just don't be the habitual line stepper. Just don't do nothing stupid. That's the difference. Everyone tampered. Mavs fans, remember when you were going to sign, what's homeboy's name? DeAndre Jordan? You think you picked up the phone at 12:01 and was like, hey, DeAndre, would you everyone tampered. Just don't be stupid. And the thing is, if Mark Cuban has I feel like it's an understanding, like, okay, we know this happened. We're not going to snitch on you because you can snitch on us. Just don't be overboard. That's all. Shouts to everyone who pulled up. We had 371 people pull up yesterday live from the Mecca. Dispelled some rumors and some bullshit. Discuss things dispel things like the Knicks are mortgaging their future and going all in for a player that we're basically going to sign with cap space recreated by dumping second-round picks. When other teams do it, they're geniuses. When we do it, we're desperate. But hey, that's just what it is. Knicks players and coaches have been attending playoff games for years, long before Leon Rose was the Knicks front office, but you just didn't notice, so you didn't care. But now when it looks like you lose your boy, now it's, why are they at the playoff game? Like, listen, David Fizdale's at playoff games. Dave Fizdale, we had coaches at finals games. No one cared. So tampering, schmampering. Last 2 things I'll say. So I'm thinking about this, and I'm glad we have the Heat fans here and Mavs fans as well, right? So Jalen Brunson is going to meet with Dallas, which makes sense. That's his current team. He's going to meet with the Knicks, which makes sense because that is the team that really could use a point guard, and he's meeting with Miami. Now, if what we have believed to be reported from Mark Stein and Tim Bontemps and people who are plugged into the Dallas organization and people like Jake Fisher who usually don't spew BS, that Jalen Brunson's all but decided to go to New York. Why would Pat Riley agree to waste his time helping the Knicks avoid a tampering charge? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Because he would tell him to go jump off a cliff, right? So I'm thinking it must be for two reasons. One, there's actually a legitimate chance Jalen Brunson could go to Miami. Or two, Pat Riley is doing CAA a favor in which he will be repaid down the line in some way, shape, or form. Because why else would Pat Riley, again, Pat Riley does not do business with the New York Knicks, hasn't done business with the Knicks for 25 years. Why would he help them out? Why would he help them avoid a tampering charge? I'm just throwing it out there because I don't know.
Tim Reynolds has said that there was no meeting in place and that was a false report. He's not meeting with the Heat. It's just the Knicks and Dallas that he's meeting with. That's Tim Reynolds has tweeted that. He said that the Heat were never in the picture.
All right, well, if that is the case, then you can just ignore everything I just said. Last thing I'll say, FanDuel is now offering WNBA props. So if you like the W, and you want to start gambling, but you don't want to go on full, like I said, if you think players are going to achieve certain points, rebounds, assists, hop down. You could tweet at me. I'll give you some advice. And by giving you some advice, I mean I'll ask people who follow the W and gamble on it, and then tell you what they told me. Thanks for the time, everyone.
I want to go ahead and throw out this name here, and I want your reaction. In fact, I'm going to put this out here in a tweet. Here's the name, DeAndre Ayton. That's where we're going next, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank everybody as we cross into hour two. We're 11 minutes into hour two. You could be anywhere, but you're here giving us some of your time, and we are grateful. And when I say we, I mean the community and the amount of creators here, not just myself. Up on stage, we have Ishaan, who's getting ready to go with Best Player in 5. We're going to get their final takes, as well as Bankai and CJ. We're going to go ahead and then use that time to switch out some new people and get some new voices in. Ishaan, give us your final parting take. Bankai, you're after him. Best Player in 5, you're after him. And we'll close this segment with CJ, the Unathletic. Thank you, everybody. Good morning.
I'm not losing sleep over Dallas trying to prove some sort of a tampering charge over Brunson, because at the end of the day, we got outwooed. New York moved 6 second-round picks, 4 players. They passed up on drafting in the lottery this year, drafting at all this year, just to have space to get Brunson in. That is some kind of wooing. That you woo a superstar like that. And they did it for Brunson, while Dallas took him for granted and lowballed him with an offer even after what New York offered. So I think at this point, Dallas has created the bed that they're in. And in a few hours, we're going to just face the music, deal with the consequences as they come. Hopefully, Nico Harrison just doesn't seem stupid. They have to have some contingencies planned. There's a lot of movement that's going to happen, and I hope Dallas is part of that action. We've already made a move with Christian Wood to get better. I hope we can mitigate the loss of Brunson and still keep contending at the top of the Western Conference. And thank you, Chris, for having me. Have a great free agency day, everyone. I know most of your teams or some of your teams are going to get ripped off, but hey, so are the Mavs. So we're all in this together.
Don't worry, you have THJ coming back. Everything is going to be okay. Bankai, parting shot.
Yeah. So getting Brunson now seems like a foregone conclusion. I'm pretty sure he might be one of the first signings as soon as 6 hits, if not the first. But I'm more so interested now to see what else are the Knicks going to do. I mean, I've heard talks about Mo Bamba and this guy from the Clippers, Isaiah Hartenstein, I believe.
Hartenstein.
Hartenstein. Yeah, apparently we're going to be aggressive in trying to get him. You mentioned Dante DiVincenzo. I like DiVincenzo. I like his defensive ability. He's okay on offense, but I really like what he brings on defense. He could be an underrated signing. So I'm just interested to see how we're gonna move after the Brunson signing, and just want to see what other teams do as well.
All right.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, no problem, Bankai. Up next, we'll go to best player in five. We'll close out this segment with CJ. I know the Heat, like Heat Twitter for the last 3 days have really been going hard at Pat Riley. But we also know that Pat Riley can never be counted out because he just throws rings at the table. He stares at you and rips your soul out. So he's having an ethereal conversation.
Doesn't just throw rings at the table, lets you keep them for years at a time.
So what are we thinking about the Heat? Five. What do you got for your parting shot?
That shit don't work no more.
Man, honestly, I really don't know what to think. I really don't. I feel like they're possibly just most likely going to run it back while possibly losing some of their pieces. So it'll be interesting what to do. I mean, I think you're in the pool party. You know what's going on in there. It's crazy with all the different sides. You got the run it back people, the don't run it back people, the trade Kyle people, the Heat. Yeah, Heat Twitter is all over the place as far as the offseason goes. But I think they'll make some moves in the margins. Some of the guys you guys said, I think they should be interested in as well, like Mo Bamba, Hartenstein. I really like those guys. Either of them would be really cool. But yeah, they're at this point, I think they're just trying to fleece a team pretty much because they just don't have a lot of options. Like their trade pieces are Kyle, Tyler, who I only think would be moved in a really big deal, and Duncan Robinson. So I mean, I don't know what team would want that, but that's what they're working with. So they're trying to fleece the team to get a John Collins or a Harrison Barnes. So, and if PJ is gone, they're going to have to do something like that. They're going to have to be creative and find ways to improve the team. But I'm expecting like a Jay Crowder and some veterans. That's it.
All right. Some news to watch out for. The Sacramento Kings are eyeing Malik Monk. You heard me right. The Sacramento Kings are eyeing Malik Monk. Don't know why.
They could have just took Jaden Ivey.
Well, no, they really like Keegan Murray. I just don't know why you let Dante DiVincenzo walk and pick up Malik Monk when Malik Monk is only going to take touches away from Davion Mitchell and De'Aaron Fox and Keegan Murray.
They could have gotten Murray and Ivy if they knew how trading down worked. But
hey, look, you're not gonna have me disagree with you. I wanted them to trade a 5, but hey, whatever. Grizzlies interested in Joe Ingles. I have no idea why. Blake Griffin is likely going back to Los Angeles, and we know what that means. The Lakers are picking up another big body for whatever reason. Kemba Walker, the buyout hasn't been finalized. I only say that because generally, if you hold off to the buyout, you're either looking at a potential trade. Kyrie Irving definitely considered taking the taxpayer mid-level exception to play for the Lakers before coming back and opting in. Those are some news and notes real quick. CJ, the unathletic, go ahead, man. Give us your parting shots. What do you want your Warriors to do, and what do you see happening throughout NBA free agency?
Thanks, Chris. Honestly, I think what ends up happening is that early on, I honestly think there are going to be some minimal moves made as far as free agent signings, and I think there's going to be a lot of extensions. I think Jokic is going to get his. I think the Warriors are probably going to try to pull off either Wiggins or Poole first as far as extensions, and I'm hoping that the Warriors sign just a veteran guard, a veteran wing, and another big in free agency outside of bringing back Looney and possibly GP2. But that's what I'm along the lines I'm thinking. But I think there's going to be minimal free agency deals made today, and I think it's going to be a lot of extension talk we're going to hear.
All right, short, simple, and sweet. You got a episode you want to go ahead and promote?
Yeah, I will be recording today reactions to free agency and whatnot, and I'll probably react live to during my recording, and then check it out tomorrow on Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific time and noon Eastern Standard Time. I will try to get it up on time. Again, I've been having technical difficulties, but yeah, it's all part of the struggle of being a new content creator. So y'all check that out on YouTube, the Unathletic Podcast with CJ. Appreciate y'all. And please like, share, and subscribe. Because to Chris's point earlier, it sucks when people can't do the simple thing of pressing a button. You just gotta like and retweet, bro. Like, it's that simple. So if y'all want to help out y'all content creators, or if y'all actually really do want to support, that's how you do it. So shout out to Chris, Hoop Spaces, and everybody else who's a content creator in here, because I rock with all y'all and I followed y'all when I came in here. So shout out to y'all.
All right, appreciate it, CJ. Check it out, the Unathletic Pod, because let's be honest, about 88% of us are unathletic compared to the people we talk about. like I had this conversation with
Shit,
a
that's
dude.
99.9, Chris. Come on.
Oh, nah. There's a lot of fit people out here. Like, you don't know. Like,
I mean, it's fit, Chris, and then it's NBA fit. It's two different levels, man.
Hold on. I ain't on that. Listen.
Yeah,
Anthony, don't do it. Don't do it, Anthony.
I'm athletic, so I'm not part of that percentage. So yeah, sorry about that.
No problem. How you doing, Anthony? You good?
Oh yeah, I'm good.
All right, I got to go to JFK. He already reached out to me earlier to come up here during his lunch break, so he's only got maybe 5 minutes left. I want to give him about 90 seconds to give his Miami Heat take. And if you are down below and you do want to get up, or if you have come up and you haven't shot us a follow yet, we would appreciate that. Up on stage with us now also is Rocky and Mr. Gifted and the Big Blades. We'll get to them too in a second. JFK, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Morning, Chris. Man, I found a new pet peeve, Chris, over the last couple of days. It's the sun. All right? The sun is crazy out here, man. I had to stop at the gas station and get me an ice cream sandwich to cool down real quick. But under this heat propaganda, look, I
Drink water,
understand
my man. Drink water.
no, I drank like 3 cups, man. I got to use the bathroom like every 10 minutes, bro. I'm trying to chill out. But yeah. So ice cream sandwich for my lunch ain't the healthiest thing, but it is what it is. But onto the Heat propaganda. Listen, I understand that it's looking kind of ugly with these contracts and what we can do. But dog, as soon as somebody mentioned Jalen Brunson to the Heat, the whole Heat Twitter got their panties in the bundle. Like, come on, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing, really? Come on, Miami. Like, we're better than this. And the thing I told Chris last night on a tweet, it seems like these aren't like Heat fans. These are those Heat fans that came in around 2011, shared in our joy for the next 4 years, and then they left to go be Golden State Warriors fans. I mean, if you're a real, true Heat fan, you live and die with whatever Pat Riley has to say, okay? But if we're looking at guys, definitely Mo Bamba is definitely one I want to get. Yeah, if we lose PJ, we're gonna have to find size somewhere. You get what I'm saying? I'll definitely take him. I also heard John Collins. If we're able to get Mo Bamba and John Collins, then we're looking good. I mean, even 3 of our rotational players only come out to $5 million, which is really, really good. And that's Yurtsevin, Gabe Vincent, and Max Strus, which is a really good contract deal. But we still got to find somewhere for Duncan Robinson. He is a finals experience sharpshooter. Sacramento, where you at? Chicago, where you at? Like, come on, dog. This is a hot sale. It's like one of those items on Aldi finds where it's like 50% off. Come on, we need him. We need him gone. Somebody can definitely pick him up. But I'm waiting till 6 o'clock to see what we do. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't do nothing. It's not like they won't do anything. But I'm also looking at Bobby Portis, and yeah, it sucks to say, but maybe Jay Crowder. I don't like how he just left and he's coming back. That's kind of wasted years. He could have stayed with us for cheaper dollars, but PJ's making that same move, and he's probably going to regret it if he does take that money, because it's only $3 million off. And if you go look at Philadelphia, you got to pay state taxes, so the contract kind of evens itself out. So we don't know what's going to happen. But Chris, I appreciate you. That's my 90 seconds. And yeah, somebody said what they would want to trade Draymond for, and I said a ham sandwich. Thank you, guys.
I wouldn't trade it for a ham sandwich either, because ham sandwiches are low key trash, man.
Listen, you want a good sandwich? You get you some Cajun turkey, and that's a good way.
It's a lot better than a ham sandwich. It's also a lot better than one of those.
You want a good sandwich? Go to Publix. Here you go.
Or just not eat ham. How about that?
There you go.
There it is. There it is.
Ham is
just don't eat pork in general. Shit.
Sorry,
bacon is a pork. Sorry.
Sausage is good for me. I like sausage gravy.
Anyways, that's what you tell yourself. Bacon ain't pork.
Bacon and sausage is not pork.
Bacon is
Oh,
that's what he tells himself when he be going in on that BLT.
Listen, you got to throw in a slice of provolone. Oh, jeez.
BLT is still the undefeated sandwich, ladies and gentlemen. And
mid-ass sandwich.
It can't be that cheap ass bacon though. It's got to be
It
the
cannot
good
be that
quality.
cheap bacon. That's a fact. Talk about it.
That's a damn sure.
It gotta be turkey bacon
I'm trying
only.
to say it's mid, and you over here
Turkey
eating
bacon
Pop
ain't
Tarts.
hit.
Like, what are
Listen,
we
if you're
doing?
using the cheap bacon, you got to use damn near that
Oh,
whole
nah,
pack.
turkey bacon is fire though. That's goated.
Exactly. Thank you, Gifted. That shit.
Oh, see, like, no, it's not. Because it's not bacon. It's turkey. Like, this idea of turkey bacon is ridiculous. There's no bacon in it. It's just turkey strips with food coloring, pressed like those fake gyro slices, man. It's depressing.
Hey, listen, I'm
Hey,
gonna keep
Chris,
it
you
a
ever
band
had
with you,
taco?
Chris. I don't care what it is. That shit,
Stop.
it don't matter what it is to me. Hey, that's good.
There you go. I'm going to get to you because I want to see how Vegas was as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we're hitting the 12 o'clock hour. I want to thank all of you for popping in here. You could be anywhere, but you're giving us some time to listen to us talk about the NBA free agency. Real quick, we here understand Miles Bridges was arrested for felony domestic violence. All right, that's an assault. We aren't here to speak on Miles Bridges' arrest. We are here to say we support the victim and that we hope that she gets all of the medical care, physical and mental, that is going to be needed, as well as the support following the incident, because it's going to be that public. So if you are on Twitter and you are messaging still that he fumbled a bag, shame on you. Delete the tweet and then tweet something like the following: no woman should have to go through what this victim went through. I support her fully, 100, and then leave it at that. Up next, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to Rocky Classic, a diehard Trailblazers fan. We got to get some Blazers love in here as well because they've done something phenomenal. I don't think they're going to get enough credit. They retooled on the fly, and they're actually trying to go with another hybrid approach of two small scoring guards with Damian Lillard and Anthony Simons, as well as adding Jeremy Grant to it. Yusuf Nurkic is looking like he's coming back. Rocky, what do you want to see your Trailblazers do, and what else are you interested in NBA free agency? Good morning.
Morning, Chris. Yeah, it's good to be out here this morning. Hey, everybody. Hope everybody has a good draft day, or not draft day. I'm still waking up. Only on my second cup of coffee. But free agency day. I'm really interested to see where some of the pieces go. I'd like to see Portland really go after somebody like John Collins. I think he'd be a phenomenal fit alongside that front line. You could definitely move. In that case, you could theoretically move Jeremy Grant to a 3, which I know he hasn't played much of, very little, but I think he'd be a perfect fit at the 3 if you had a guy like John Collins in there. I think we need to re-sign Joe Ingles to a decent little small contract. Give him a couple of years. Give him an opportunity to finish here. He's said he's been willing to let Portland have a shot since they took a flyer on him, knowing he was injured. And other than that, give me DeAndre Ayton if the move is right. But if it involves giving up anything other than, say, a sign and trade for Yusuf Nurkic and some mid-level players, I say no. And I hope the Knicks get slammed under the rug for tampering, because this is an all-out brutal tamper they're doing, I think. But who knows? We'll see what happens. Good luck to everybody. And I hope Mark Cuban gets fleeced, because I can't stand the guy.
Well, don't worry. I think most of the Mavs fans are about to join you on that. This is now like 5 off seasons in a row where Mavs fans just get lied to by their owner. It's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. It's like a bad relationship, and they just keep going back.
You know what's funny, Chris?
What's up, Shawn?
People in our fan base whine and moan and bitch and complain about how Leon Rose doesn't say anything and he doesn't give press conferences. And even people like Mark Stein and people in the media, they're like, oh, well, the Knicks don't say anything. Leon Rose doesn't talk. I'm like, actions speak louder than words. Like, to your point, homeboy has been lying to the Mavs for 5 years. He said, we'll do whatever it takes to take him. I remember Steve Mills lying to me about how we're going to be patient and rebuild the right way. Then he drafted R.J. Barrett and took this side 4 power forwards. Like, actions speak louder than words. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. What you got? We head up to Maliika and Mr. Gifted.
I mean, to be honest, like, to give the Knicks credit is something I try not to do. But I mean, Leon Rose has done a good job since he's been in charge. You see, last season what happened? Everybody was like, "Fire Tibbs and fire Tibbs," and honestly, I was one of those people, and I still believe that. Like, I don't think Tibbs is the guy. But I mean, he came out and at the end of the season and publicly voiced that, "Yo, this is our guy. He's gonna be here. So get over it." You know, it's just nice to see a franchise actually support their head coach. You know, unlike former regimes that shall not be spoken of.
You know,
They
we
used to rule Chicago for 20 plus years unchecked, with the third largest market in the NBA in the country.
we had this discussion about what organization is the better run organization, the Brooklyn Nets or the New York Knicks, and the Nets fans did not like my my explanation. We're gonna go to Mr. Gifted Blade, ladies and gentlemen. Check him out on YouTube. Leader of Film Spaces of the Locker Room, part of the Hoop Spaces community here. Good morning, Mr. Gifted. How did Vegas go? You were up early. Did you stay up? Did you go back down? And then after you, we'll go to Maliika Walker, and then Joma joins us, fulfilling the Bibs Corner segment. First time, long time. Good morning, Gifted.
All right, first off, what's good, everybody? Good morning. I'm not going to lie, Chris, I'm feeling really good this morning. Off season is finally here. The draft is over. This is now all about player movement and what these front offices are going to do to improve their teams or improve the direction that they're going about. So I'm hyped about that. Shout out to you for asking about the Vegas trip. That was a dope experience. I literally booked everything last minute, the hotel, plane tickets, all of that. Was not planning on going, but had a very fun time. I finessed the casino. I I put $100 down on blackjack, and I put that.
Allegedly,
No, confirmedly. I'm proud of this shit. I put down $100, and I was able to flip that to $750. So I went to every outlet store I could find, got hella basketball shorts, hella polo tees, college shirts, all of that. Hit the blackjack back, lost $100, but I'm okay with that because the trip itself was great, and the fact that I was able to break even and just travel, that was a dope experience. I can't wait to do it again. Next year, I will go to Summer League. I'm gonna write that down somewhere. We're gonna book that because that was a very fun experience, and I can see why people want a basketball team for Vegas. Because my God, the amount of money in that city, like, oof.
they want a male basketball team in Vegas. They have the Las Vegas Aces right now.
That's a fact, though. 808s, 100% right about that. But on this free agency stuff, there's so much to talk about. The Knicks, the Hawks, the Spurs. Like, I'm loving the movement that you're seeing. I'm with Shawn, though. Like, the Knicks thing to me, I think it's getting lame and corny because, yes, they're giving up those assets, but at the same time, these young, talented players on the Knicks are finally going to get an opportunity to show what they can be. Jalen Brunson can add some stability to their squad. At the same time, for the Mavericks, if they lose Jalen Brunson, I think that is a significant loss to lose another ball handler who emerged last year. But this Hawks trade, man, like, I'm not hearing enough people talk about that. I think that is a tremendous trade from both teams. I think the Spurs are finally saying we're going to go through the lottery and see how that goes. Those unprotected picks, this trade could be a trade that in 3 years we look back at saying, wow, what a trade from the Spurs. But at the same time, for Atlanta, this trade is where we got to put the money where the mouth is, because Hawks fans have said that Trae Young has the capability to play off ball. Well, now he has a guy that can make great plays on the ball as well. So this is his chance to really evolve his game and show his off-ball capability. And then to have another guy in DeJounte Murray who can attack, closeouts, and lead a unit in a stagger to where if Trey's on the bench, you can have him out there. I just love that versatility on top of the fact that they shed the Gallinari contract and they still have a bunch of defenders all around Trae Young. So I'm excited for the NBA, man. This is going to be a very, very, very fun offseason. And shout out to Hoop Spaces because we're going to have a lot of content for everybody coming up during this whole offseason. So I'm really happy, man. I really am.
Hey, Gifted. I would spend that $750 on something different, but that's just me though. I ain't gonna talk about it.
I know what Anthony talk about too. I already know.
I would just only imagine what Anthony would spend the money on in Vegas. Like I'm getting exhausted actually thinking about it. Like the actual amount of time and effort and energy he's putting in. Yeah, I'm a pass.
No, go to Vegas like around November during the wintertime, not June. Hell no.
Yeah, but you ain't denying what I'm saying. You just changing the time. Like that.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he did, Chris.
Yeah.
What's the name of the team gonna be? The Las Vegas Spades?
No. Nah. It'll be something bad, but it won't be that bad.
The Spades sound good.
Ain't gonna be better than the Aces.
I like that.
It's not gonna be better than the Aces. 808 is 1,000% right about that. That's a fire name, bro. It is.
It'll probably be as bad as the Washington Commanders. Like I'm not even joking.
Nah, you can't top that.
It's probably gonna be that bad.
Oh, no, Commanders is some trash. It can't be no worse than that. I'm sorry.
I heard a dude the other day say, I'm a Washington Commanders fan for the first time, and I just shivered. I was like, a what?
I would definitely shiver.
All right, we got Joma, ladies and gentlemen. He is filling Bib's Corner segment, and if you don't know, there's a long tradition in call-in radio where if you are a listener and you are talking for the first time, you would say first time, long time. He doesn't have to do that, but we just do that because. Joma, good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are. Your thoughts on NBA free agency?
Hey, good morning, everybody. It's still morning here where I am. Shouts out to everybody. Much respect. Hope everybody's doing well. Shouts out to Hoop Spaces. You run one of the cleanest spaces on Twitter, man. So shouts out to you for that. I've been in plenty of spaces, man. So you got a dope situation going on right here. I'm a Hawks and Pelicans fan. I'm pretty excited about both teams. I love the trade, the Dejounte Murray trade. I love that trade for both teams. Actually, it gives San Antonio a chance to kind of rebuild. It gives the Hawks a chance to compete. You know, I think that the Hawks achieve sustainable success. You know, I don't really see them being out of the playoff picture for a long while now. They got the backcourt that they want. They got the number 2 option that they wanted now. So seeing Trey off the ball would be intriguing. I think he can do it. I don't think there'll be any issue there. I think that as far as the Pelicans go, loaded, man. Got good shooters. Got the right players in the locker room. They all like each other. They all hang out with each other. So getting that continuity together is really important. The summer league, even the summer league roster is very talented. Jared Harper, one of the guys from our Birmingham Squadron team, G League team, is playing summer league, and I was really impressed with him when we called him up last season. But yeah, man, it's tons of optimism here. I love free agency season, so this is gonna be absolutely bonkers tonight. So I'm looking forward to that also, not even just for my teams, but for everybody else's teams too. I'm eager to see how everybody is planning on improving themselves for next season. And yeah, man, I'm buckling up.
Definitely appreciate it. Yeah, I'm not going to hold the 2-team fine against you. It's your first time. We do appreciate you here, but we got to know if the Hawks and the Pelicans are playing each other, who you got?
I don't even watch, bro. I don't even watch. I tried to watch the games a few times before recently. I don't even watch. I don't even watch the game. I can't do it. I cannot do it.
It's okay. What that sounds like is you need a significant other or child to push you in the right direction. And that right direction, ladies and gentlemen, is the Pelicans.
Or you could just, support both teams, enjoy both players on both teams.
Don't listen to this
I'm
trash.
not gonna lie to you, Chris. Like, I'm pushing that Pelicans propaganda all off season on the locker room coming up pretty soon. I'm about to have a film space on Zion because I feel like a lot of people got the game messed up with Zion. I think people forget that this man averaged 27 points on 60% shooting from the field with Eric Bledsoe and Steven Adams as his floor spacers. I'm going to break down the film because this Zion talk where it's like, can he stay healthy? Can he stay healthy? The last time he was healthy during the season, he played the bulk of the entire season. So I'm not even trying to hear that, bro. They coming. They are coming.
Money on Zion.
We got some words here on this DeJounte Murray trade. Everybody needs to keep your eyes on this space. They are now looking to potentially expand the trade, adding John Collins and possibly Kevin Huerter. So we might be looking at an expanded 3 or 4 team trade, which is bound to happen. We're going to pop up to Maliika Walker, ladies and gentlemen, of the Rewind and of the Hoopstresses, and we have AJ with us, who's a Hawks fan. We'll get his thoughts in on the trade and anything else that the Hawks might do. Looking out for a potential appearance by a couple of reporters, but like I'm not expecting it. They're all trying to do their own job and stuff. And if they do, we'll give them a freeway up here to go ahead and talk. Maliika, your thoughts on the Brooklyn Nets? The biggest name I've seen linked to them is Mo Bamba, but that is on a contingent that he takes a Malik Monk 1-year show it deal. Your thoughts on the Brooklyn Nets and the greater aspects of free agency?
Man, I haven't heard anything with regards to Nets and free agents. They've been quiet. The Mo Bamba, from what I looked at, some Chicago media is saying he's looking at Chicago. But Chicago and him are not agreeing on the money. Don't know why he's looking at Chicago. But I haven't heard a thing on.
Excuse me?
I know what we need. We need some 3-and-D wings. We need some shooters. We need to. We need. Yeah, we need
Coming
to
from a
fill out
Nets
our
fan.
roster. I don't know what they're gonna do though, and I'm being honest. I don't.
I need y'all to get Gary Harris, Malika. I need you to get Gary Harris, please.
We will see what. I mean, when I say I haven't heard a thing, I haven't heard a thing. So I will be looking and hoping like everybody else. But I actually wanted to ask a question outside of the Nets because I'll be watching and I'm subscribed to Woj because that's where Nets, leak information. They leak it to Woj, and I have Shams for everybody else. So to see where who we end up with today and praying that we're active in some capacity. Say from PK this live because I'm like, do something. Like we need to see something. I need to see some action. We need something for the bitch. But I have a question for Shawn and I have a question for everyone on stage. I really like the moves that Detroit um, has been making, this off season, and they are not done, in my opinion. Like they are not done. Troy Weaver is putting out a masterclass. So I wanted y'all opinion on, like I thought they were after Aiden, but with the moves they make, I don't know if they had the cat space. What do we think? What do we think about Detroit and the move he could possibly make? And Shawn, I'm hearing that Andre Drummond, there's interest from, according to Ian Begley, there's interest from New York in Andre Drummond. Like, how do you feel about Drummond on your team? So I was curious about those two things.
I'll go last. Who wants to talk about Detroit?
I
Uh,
do. As a Detroiter myself, I'm very happy of the moves that they made.
Are you
I
going to
think
be adjacent to Detroit though now because they're going to be better? They're going to be much better moving forward. Are you going to be adjacent like 808s is with
well, no,
Dallas?
I have been Detroit adjacent since I thought they were gonna get LiAngelo Ball. So I've been here.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah. I want to say this, man. Like the moves they made were phenomenal. Getting Jaden to pair with Cade is a phenomenal pairing, but then to double that down and then get a nice big, I think was really good for them. Their youth movement is going to be crazy. Um, a lot of length on their roster, and I think now they have like a core to actually build around. I don't think they're done either, Malika. I do think that they probably want to get some more wings slash veteran players in there, but I think they had a phenomenal offseason. And regardless of how good or bad they are this season, this sets up their future really nicely to me.
All right. I like it. I didn't understand at the very beginning what they were doing when they signed like Kelly Olynyk, Corey Joseph. But when they did their draft, it was pretty apparent. Like they were just trying to get the best player available because they could never get that top pick until they got Cade Cunningham. Um, they are sitting pretty. They now have two veterans that will be able to be moved on tradable contracts, and Alec Burks and Nerlens Noel to join Kelly Olynyk, who's got 2 years remaining on his deal, who joins Corey Joseph, who's only $5 million, and Hamidou Diallo, who's $5 million, Killian Hayes, who's $5 million. Like they can literally go anywhere and be either a filler team or a team that trades for a legit piece. And I'm not even surprised if they end up pushing out Marvin Bagley, Killian Hayes, Kelly Olynyk, and Alec Burks, and get a third player that will accelerate the development of Cade Cunningham. So you have to talk about somebody who simply doesn't want to be where he is, or a team who wants to acquire an upgrade but have to move somebody. And like, not lying, I'm looking at Minnesota and I'm looking at D'Angelo Russell. I could see him being an off-ball two next to Cade Cunningham. That could work, and I think that would also net Detroit, multiple draft compensation from Minnesota and the other team involved. That's actually one of my dark horse. What I'm looking for Detroit. What do you guys think of that?
I like it from the sense of them potentially getting more draft capital, but I do not like D'Lo on that roster just because defensively he's cooked. I understand that he has positives offensively, but I think Detroit is going in a path to where they want to have a complete roster of players that can contribute to being two-way players. Even though Killian Hayes is pretty bad at anything that deals with offense, his defense and passing has been sensational. And I think that he's still young. I think this is a proven year for him because he's been hurt to start his career a lot and hasn't been that great. But him being that backup guard off of the bench with Cade and Ivy interchanging ball handling abilities, I think that can still be strong. I'm not mad at the D'Lo thing, but I don't necessarily like it, Chris.
Yeah, like I'm not mad at it, but honestly, expecting D'Lo, his off-ball game is not good enough to be a shooting guard. Like he needs the ball in his hands to be effective. He doesn't do too many things without the ball in his hand that's good enough for him to play that position. Even though they have really good passes on the team, like it's not enough.
Donovan Mitchell put out a tweet
Is he
calling
gonna put up some more passes to Rudy this year?
Oh God, Donovan Mitchell.
Eric Pascal is leaving Utah, ladies and gentlemen. Where he's going, we won't know until at least 6 p.m. But it is quite apparent Donovan Mitchell wants out of Utah, and I'm laughing and smiling because he is watching everybody leave. He also sent a text out to Joe Ingles. Man, my man D Mitch is down bad like Harden. AJ, good morning, good afternoon. Congratulations on the Hawks picking up DeJounte Murray. Your thoughts on the trade, and what do you want to see the Hawks do to finish up free agency?
Honestly, I think the trade is kind of killer. Like everybody said before, it's great for both sides, but as a Hawks fan, I think we definitely got the better end of the deal. I think the Spurs just kind of signals them tanking and trying to rebuild, even though it's a little weird that they're doing that with Pop probably on the way out. I mean, it kind of makes sense, but anyway, from Hawks' perspective, this is great. We were expecting to lose John Collins to get Murray, and the fact that we didn't yet is great. Now, with everybody saying that there may be a third team involved, Herter and potentially Collins leaving, that normally would put me very much in panic mode. Most Hawks fans, I'm open to admit, we love to keep our team, even if it's unsuccessful, together as long as possible and think that they're better than they are. But we've seen this team can't get it done the way it's built. Now, adding Murray to it and losing Danilo would have been cool to see, but I think you got to trust Travis Schlenk. He's been making great trades, getting good people back, and making great picks in the draft. So I'm all in on the fact that if he can get this Murray deal done without John as it was, and now John's being involved with it, we must be getting something back in return. There's rumors that we're going to get Ayton back. I don't know if that's going to happen, but we saw throughout the conversation today that John Collins is a valuable asset that teams want. Multiple people in this, space said that they want John Collins, but they never mentioned what they're going to give up. I know Heat fans want to give up Duncan, and that's great and all, but I don't see Travis Schlenk taking John Collins for Duncan, honestly. So
That's a bad return, man.
Well,
Come on now.
the issue actually is the market itself, and the market for Collins busted.
I don't know if that's true, but besides that, I just got to call out Gifted, the shout out. The way you broke down the trade, I think, is exactly what I'm going to say, so I'm not going to reiterate it. And then to all the Knicks saying, you got to justify it not tampering. You guys are down bad, and it's fine. Just admit it. It's okay. And then lastly, Vegas gamblers is what we're going to end up with, and that's my thoughts for the day.
They're not going to do Vegas gamblers.
You are up here on this space complaining about tampering. Every team tampers. Literally every team.
Yeah, but a lot of teams lose picks. That's all I'm saying.
Well, see, the players tamper. The teams don't tamper.
Yes.
Right? That's the problem here, is that there's a legit path that the team did tamper. That's what everybody's has an uproar with.
I just want to say for the record that one of the picks that was traded in Atlanta was the Charlotte pick that we traded in the Cam Reddish deal. So once again, the Knicks are keeping the Hawks relevant.
All right,
other way around, but okay.
We got a couple people up here who haven't spoken yet. Actually, one now. But 808s, hop up in here. We're gonna get a quick reset, and I'm gonna give some more shout outs because some other dope content creators are in the building.
Yeah, I've seen tweets of people saying the Hawks completely won this trade. I don't know why the Spurs would do this. And it's I guess people just don't understand that Victor Wembanyama is in the next draft next year. I saw somebody else say in the tweet that the Spurs about to pull off the most ethical tanking job ever. Yeah, that's because they're about to get one of the most talented recruits since LeBron James entered the NBA. Look at the tape. I've seen this dude been playing basketball since he was 12 or 13. His name has been around for a while. That's why they're doing this. Pop is once again setting up the Spurs for greatness as he leaves the building. I don't know how you could not like this. Think about DeJounte Murray. He's a great player. Even Domo himself has said it. You're gonna build around DeJounte. That's not gonna get you a championship. The Spurs are about championships. So they did what was best for the franchise.
And a lot of people actually they already started this rebuilding process. This is they selected a whole slew of guards to specifically do a rebuild, and the rebuild never built. Right? Various people were injured, including DeJounte himself. Lonnie Walker didn't develop the way they did. And if you watch, they've selected Joshua Primo, they've selected Devin Vassell. They selected Keldon Johnson. These guys are just a few years younger than DeJounte, and it might just be where the Spurs said, this is the highest value we're going to get for him at this time. This is the best move to secure our future. And that's what GM is supposed to do. That is their job.
Chris, we got to add on to that though, because we love to bash teams for waiting to the last minute to make a trade when a player has their lowest value. The Spurs did the same thing here, because in the next 2 years, there's no guarantee that he would have re-signed or had the same value that he does right now.
Exactly. We got one person who's yet to speak. We brought in a couple new people, including Evan Townsend, because we're talking specifically about DeJounte Murray and the Spurs. We'll get him in here, and Derek Stein. But I wanted to give a couple of shout-outs down below. Nick Tuths, he's in the building. If you don't know, it's not my fault. Good follow. Saint from Nest Kingdom is in the building. You can catch him with Nest Kingdom AJ and a whole crew of others like Jay from BK here on Twitter Spaces, also on YouTube. Yasi Goslin of Hoops Hype, the number one source for your NBA publications on the interwebs, is in the building. Shoot him a follow. And Optimistic Pels fan, ladies and gentlemen, is in the building. Give him a follow because he is laying the groundwork as we speak for the next big thing here on Spaces for the Hoop Spaces community. It's called Open Mic Night. And if you are a musician, if you play, if you sing, come through. Get your talent on. We got a space for you. If you're a comedian, talk to me. Hit me up in the DMs, and we can go over how you might want to do a quick stand-up comedian set here on Twitter Spaces as part of the Open Mic Spaces. I'm huge into comedy. I used to actually do stand-up as therapy for PTSD and write it. So it's phenomenal. If you are listening and you like that type of stuff, we got plenty of stuff here for you. If you haven't heard anything you like, throw out an idea. You never know what happens. Up next, we're going to go to Yo-Mello, new person up here. And I thought that was a Mellow Yellow can. It is. I haven't had a Mellow Yellow in like 30 years. Damn. What's up, yo? How you doing?
Come on, Chris.
Give him the horns.
Yo, we was 2 hours in.
2 hours in. That's the longest in a long time, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Damn.
Yo, if you had Yellow Mellow on your bingo card today, man.
Point. By the way, if you're new, you want to earn points. If you don't know why you want to earn points, I haven't come up with a good answer. There you go.
That's not true. If you get enough points, Chris is gonna fly you out and specifically let you eat nothing but habanero sauce and I forgot that other mid thing.
Bologna
Like, what is it
relish.
called?
And coleslaw.
Coleslaw. Yeah.
Bologna
And the
relish.
veggie sandwiches from Jimmy John's.
Oh, Lord.
See, like, I'm here to talk NBA free agency. And, like, because other people talk food, I can't do anything about this. Like, if I say something, they all say it's my fault. Like, I don't know what to do. If you are a listener, help me figure out what I'm supposed to do because, like, I gotta eat food.
Sometimes,
why are you mad that we know you?
I ain't gonna lie, Chris. Sometimes you just gotta sit there and take it.
Y'all are just, you know
you
what?
Tell us these things, man.
I only tell you after y'all bring up questions. Like, what
Imagine
is this?
going to Chicago just for coleslaw.
Yo, please, yo.
One, I didn't go for the coleslaw, but I'm just saying it was the best coleslaw from Chicago I had. Like,
I asked this man what was the best dish in Chicago he had, and he told me coleslaw. As a native Chicagoan, that is embarrassing and it's disrespectful.
You shouldn't be embarrassed or disrespected. You should be, like, actually praising and exalting to the high heavens. Shawn with the W, I want you to hop up in here. We'll get Evan Townsend start on the trade. It's been some time, so he's talked himself down from the ledge a little bit. We got Mo Nix in the building and Derek Stein of the Not Just Dribble Pod. It's a great day. You could be anywhere. You're here. Thank you, everybody. Shawn.
Hey, big shout out to Derek, by the way.
Big shout out, Derek. I actually have to run, but I just want to say one thing. If the San Antonio Spurs get to draft a generational Hall of Fame level big man again, if they get to do this again, I'm not going to be beside myself. I'm just going to be like, yo, they did it again. And if they do this because if they get away with this because the Hawks made it easier for them, oh my goodness. Oh, like if you gift them a dynasty, y'all will never hear the end of it from the entire league. That's all. I got to go to a meeting. Have a good day.
Bruh, Knicks fans. Come on.
I love that. He's not wrong, AJ.
He's not wrong, though.
Let Victor Wembanyama become a San Antonio Spur, and they go on to, like, 4 championships, like the Warriors have done in the recent years. Like, Atlanta will be the new Boston Celtics. Everybody will hate the Atlanta Hawks.
I think it's crazy, Chris, because I can literally see him in a Spurs jersey. It's wild. Like I can visualize it.
So can I. It's
He
really.
fits the culture. He fits the team. Like, it's written in the stars, man. This is really crazy.
It's going to be hilarious. We're going to have like a Greg Popovich, Sam Presti pay-per-view to see who gets to draft this kid.
Hey, Chris, what's the price on Lou Dort right now?
$2 million. Like 1.9.
Oh, shoot. Send him to the Bay.
So I could get Lou Dort for maybe
future first, bro.
I could maybe a first and
Kobe White and a future first.
If that's all it takes, man, why is Akron on the phone?
Josh Green and a future first and second.
Yeah, I need Lou Dort off of OKC, so either in Dallas or Chicago.
All right, there you go. Evan, we talked the trade. Let's hear your voice. If you don't know, he writes words, and words are very important. They are a symbolic combination of letters that convey meaning, and he writes these words at Project Spurs. You should go read them because words are important. Evan, good morning.
Hey, what's going on? I'm driving, so I may start cutting out here in a bit, but I'm going to make this. DeJounte Murray did not want to be here. I'm not flabbergasted, but I'm shocked to hear that Mark Stein was on Spotify Live confirming that they were shopping DeJounte and Derek White back at the trade deadline, but they couldn't get a deal done. DeJounte, there's never been a situation like this prior. I mean, Kawhi and his uncle, they weren't on social media poking the bear, literally tampering, doing anything and everything you're not supposed to do, but he did. I kind of predicted that he but just be on the lookout for Keldon Johnson to be moved as well, probably right at 6 p.m. Jakob Poeltl, Doug McDermott, Josh Richardson. It's clearinghouse season. Coach Pop says he wants to be back, and he literally is leaving this franchise just how he came in, developing a young team. Quinn Snyder's going to be there. James Bragel's going to be involved, and Coach Pop's going to be even just going back from the court to the front office. So, $13 million. If anyone wants Josh Richardson, $12 million. You got 1 year. You got 1 year usage. So just be on the lookout for more trades.
How much for Jakob Poeltl?
This is not over yet. We need a first round pick.
2 firsts for Jakob.
Man,
2 firsts.
I figured that out.
It's going to be. Here's the thing with Jakob. So Jakob his value is honestly the best for a center of his market. $10 million this year isn't the same $10 million as what it is next year or the year after, especially with the new CBA. You're going to see guys like Isaiah Hartenstein, who's a backup on most teams, but he's going to get $10 million, and you're going to have to overpay for Jakob. So whether it's a first round, he's going to get a better package than I don't want to say than a Christian would, but something that's going to be like a head scratcher. Like we only got 3 and didn't look on for DeJounte, but we got this for Jakob. Yeah, and they're probably set in stone. Woj probably has all these in his drafts, and he's ready just to fire away right at 6 p.m. So,
I am telling you that the Raptors have been after Jakob for 2 years to get him back, and they probably wouldn't have any compunction of sending 2 draft picks.
I'm telling you right now, Chris, like when I go to sleep at night, I think about Jakob Poeltl in a Golden State jersey because his screen assists, his passing, the way that the man rebounds, and he's one of the best rim protectors in the NBA. Can you imagine if we had Jakob Poeltl and then had Looney off the bench? Oh my Lord, that's filthy. We need that.
See, the way y'all just pass over James Wiseman like he just doesn't
No.
exist.
I like James Wiseman. His time will come in the next 2-3 years, but not this upcoming season. We need Jakob right now.
This is why nobody likes Golden State Warriors.
You just won a championship without anybody over the height of 6'9". You telling me you need Jakob Poeltl? This is disgusting.
You cannot win championships by being complacent, bro. You got to put the foot on the necks. Give me Jakob, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, you hear it here first. Warriors Twitter.
Stop clapping for that, Danny. Come on.
Absolutely.
What is wrong
Danny
with you?
feel me. Danny feel me.
Like,
many other teams can use Jakob.
I can't wait till July 26th when the Aces play this guy.
So many other teams.
That's cool for them. But I want Jakob though.
But y'all don't need him. Y'all good.
For the Warriors fans who just rose your hands, y'all gonna have to wait. I ain't having this Jakob Poeltl fight right now. We can do it in like 20 minutes. I ain't doing this fight. His name is Jakob Podol. Like, if you want him, send the trade offer. I don't need to hear y'all just like praising
I'm
this man
throwing it
for no
a
reason.
lot for Jakob, bro. I'm sorry. I've seen him play too much
Hey, yo, can you just
basketball.
imagine Mo Bamba in
Nah, y'all
Toronto?
don't need him. No, y'all just won a
Man.
championship. Y'all
Exactly.
good.
I'm trying to two-peat Maliika. Run that.
Ugh,
If
just
if
and just
Jakob
The
if
privilege
the
is
Jakob
insane, man.
deal if the Jakob deal can be made this free agency, Spurs can hold on to him, and there's gonna be a desperate team with the injured center around the trade deadline, and we're gonna get the bag for him. So if it's not happening within the next 24, 48 hours, hey, 6, 7 months from now, we're gonna get a haul. So
what's hilarious is if it doesn't happen in the next 48 hours, he's going to average 18 points, 13 boards, two and a
Don't
half
say
blocks.
that,
And
Chris. Don't wait
yeah,
until
don't say that. Don't say that.
he's on the
what?
Warriors and then say that.
No, that's what's going to happen. I
I think the
guarantee you,
Warriors have a lot more to
he
think about.
hasn't played above 30 minutes per game in his career. He's going to jump to like
So
36 minutes.
the reason why Jakob Poeltl is in the same tier as a Clint Capella because they make boneheaded mistakes. Jakob Poeltl can't make free throws to save his life. Well, he might as well just granny shot at this point. Literally, he has the worst form for somebody. Solid float game, solid pick and roll float game. But hey, that's it. The reason why, like Clint Capella's, even like I want to say the Nerlens Noels of the league, that they can't have a solidified role because they make the boneheaded mistakes. They lose the ball out of bounds, can't catch a lob, miss free throws. But Jakob Poeltl is the only center that will be down. I want to say for a backup role. But if on the Warriors, on any competing team, as long as they have an injured sitter, he would be there because he's $9-10 million and it's a 1 year rental.
You
So
know, I could give you 2 first rounders and Jaden Springer. There you go.
Man, listen, bro. I don't think y'all
I'm good.
understand. This man's screen assist is like he's like top 5 in the league at screen assists.
Yeah.
Like I need
Oh,
that. I need that.
he had a PER of like 21. Let me get Derek Stein up in here and Mo Nix. CJ's also joining us. Want to make sure we get as many voices as possible. Derek Stein of the Not Just Dribble Pod, also of All Things Anime, is a co-host with the voice you just heard, Gifted Blade. Derek is a fellow 76ers fan. We are maligned from 76ers Twitter because like we actually don't agree with everything they do.
Yeah, and good afternoon, everybody. And Chris, I'm sorry, I'm not excited for Daniel House like every other Sixers fan is.
Neither.
Everyone wants to rebuild the 65 win team Rockets. Unfortunately, that is not the same Rocket squad, but I guess people just live in the past. But either way, I wanted to say first and foremost, I don't think there's a clear winner yet when it comes to this DeJounte, I should say Hawks and Spurs trade. I think the Spurs got a terrific return. People are saying those picks are going to be of low value. We thought the Hawks were going to be nice this year, and look how their season ended. So there's a very real chance that they can't duplicate the best success in 2-3 years time. I will say though, Ice Tay is a terrific nickname. Please take it. ATL, please brand that. I had a minor in marketing, so listen, like I can put this degree to use because communications otherwise is a lousy ass degree. So just use it. But I will say the Spurs should be tanking for Vic the Great. That is the nickname I'm also dubbing. Again, put that marketing minor to use. Vic the Great will happen. And yeah, if he's on the Spurs and you just have David Robinson, Tim Duncan, and Vic in the span of 25 to almost 30 years, good grief, that's incredible. And it'd be great to see Biggs take over. For Jakob's services, though, 2 first seems expensive. I will be honest. The center's shortage in the league, I don't think has really taken hold just yet. The fact that DeAndre Ayton is just getting lambasted by the team that's trying to trade him is kind of disgusting. I think Ayton could still be something. And I do think Ice Tay A, not as catchy as the first one, but could exist for Atlanta. So honestly, it'd be fun, if nothing else, to see Ayton just get out of Phoenix because I'm kind of sick of them getting cooked. I think he's a good player, and Phoenix is treating him like he is a Nerlens Noel with worse hands. Like it's kind of I'm embarrassed for him.
I actually there's a surprise team that I really thought had a shot, and they haven't done anything, and that was the Houston Rockets. And like I think with the way they had their draft, and also having Jalen Green and KPJ. I don't know why they didn't kick the tires a little bit harder, because I think that would have been a pretty interesting pickup as well. And I agree with you. I don't think Phoenix values DeAndre Ayton as they should. We should just use it as that. He was a polarizing number 1 overall pick coming out of University of Arizona in a draft that I think, if we look back at it, we could say that there were some players who should have stayed in college for at least another year. And I think that's kind of dogged him. And then I don't think Chris Paul likes playing with DeAndre.
And we don't like Chris Paul.
And I think that also plays a lot into it, because anytime you have a 7 foot, 265 pound athletic human being who can't get a pick and roll run to save his life with the best point guard in history, as some make the argument, you scratch your head.
Hey, Chris,
you just do.
I need you and Derek to do me a quick favor, okay?
What's up?
Repeat these words after me. Ice Tater Gang. Ice Tater Gang. Ice Tater Gang. Ice Tater Gang, yes, sir. Ice Tater Gang. I like that, Derek. I like that. It's not bad.
You never hear me say that unless I lose a bet, and since I rarely do. That's like what were there were words to the Dougie. I can't. We're gonna go to 808s after Derek. Derek, close us out. We'll hop over to 808s. We got CJ down below. Mo Nix, you're up after 808s.
I was laughing, Chris, honestly, because that is it's a factual statement, but not one I thought I'd hear today, which is, the great surprise of Hoop Spaces, is I'm always pleasantly surprised. To close, honestly, I have to say I'm an excited Sixers fan. The fact that James Harden, who has been slandered by yours truly and many others, is taking a pay cut, even if it is slight, is honestly just a pleasant surprise. And the last bit of good news, I will say, shout out to the Spurs, because Brett Brown of Sixers process era is returning to the
Really? He is?
Brett Brown is returning because Becky Hammon is moving on, if I'm not mistaken. And Brett Brown is returning after what I hope is a stellar 2-year vacation of getting paid sitting on the sidelines. Or excuse me, not sitting on the sidelines, because, Glenn is there. But shout out to Brett Brown. Appreciate the time and service he had to endure in Philadelphia.
Hey, I'm about to get back to work. So, I just want to say I appreciate Who Spaces. Derek, I appreciate your, co-hosting with me on all things anime. And also the Film Spaces. Those are going to be dope as we continue to grow those up. I just want to say this last thing for Chris and Derek specifically. James Harden will be an all-NBA player next season. I guarantee it.
I mean, I have him second team in my way too early rankings. I agree. I think he's going to end up doing 20 and 11 with 4 boards, and that'll get him second, maybe third. 808s, you want to hop in here? Go ahead, hop in, and then we're going to move over to Mo Nix and CJ and get their voices up. Emily Austin is on the way. Malay is up here, and pick up card game, and CJ will pop back up here. Remember, if you are down below, it's real simple. Shoot the people up on the stage a follow, like and interact with the tweets in the tweet deck, and you'll find out that you come up here. It's really not that difficult. It's really not. But people don't do it, and it boggles my mind. Also, if you've been in here and you've just found us, 1, thank you. 2, if you like what you hear, we're here every Monday through Friday at 10 a.m., 10:30 this week because my son is in summer camp. So, just set the dial, as they would say on the radio, and pop in for some good basketball talk. If you miss us, you can listen either on your timeline. They have now made it extend beyond 30 days. So we'll be forever on your timeline. But that's hard. Lots of tweets happen. So just go to YouTube. And 2 things will happen. If you go to YouTube right now and you search #HoopSpaces, you're going to find all of the content that the likes of Gifted Blade and others have already made prior to us even putting together the Hoop Spaces YouTube channel. And then you'll see the Hoops Faces YouTube channel. Subscribe to all of them because that's the content that you want. All right, we will go next up to Mo Nix. CJ, right after 808s. After Mo Nix and CJ, we got Malayia and Maliika. And then we've got Emily Austin pickup card game. Half court Heat and CJ getting ready to come on up. Thank you, everybody. Good morning.
What's up, my man? How's everything been, Chris? I appreciate you always having me on, man. Always having a great space.
Appreciate it, man.
I just wanted to talk about that the DeJounte Murray situation. With a lot of Knicks fans getting mad, thinking that's going to be something great in Atlanta. DeJounte Murray is one of my favorite point guards personally. But to me, him in Atlanta, I don't see it as great as every other fan might see it as. I see a situation that's going to be a problem. The fact that DeJounte's not that great of a shooter, not that much of a threat. Him playing off the ball, to me, might not be as wow as everyone might think it is when the ball is predominantly in Trae Young's hands. But when it comes to New York, I still feel like it's a very big situation where the different reporters that I'm speaking to still feel that the Knicks would move Julius Randle. As much as Knicks fans think that they don't want to, I still think that talks are going on all day. With Jalen Brunson deal, I could still see a situation where there's a 3-team deal where Brunson comes to New York and Julius is moved. But besides that, man, the fact that they're talking about the Spurs from before, how they're tanking for Wembanyama, I agree 100%. And what Shawn said before, like, it's going to be a scary thing if you're going to give the Spurs franchise another predominant big man. For the Warriors fans talking about Patel being a Warrior, you guys just won a finals and you still have Wiseman on the bench. I mean, a lot of people are forgetting about that. You have a big that's still young, that's still athletic, that can be learning that offense. You guys have to pay Wiggins. You have to realize what you're going to do with Jordan Poole. So you guys have a lot going on right now, and I don't think Patel's going to be like something in your eyes right now. But besides that, man, everything else is covered, and I appreciate you always having me on, my brother.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm happy that you're able to come in. Knicks, what else you want to see them do? Like, I know JB is a name that you might want, but like,
I mean,
there's other moves to make.
I like Brunson. I think it's a start in the right direction. He wasn't my favorite, but I don't mind him being here, getting a predominant point guard that can lead this offense. To me, I want to see another move. I need some shooters around the point guard. I don't think we have enough shooters in this league, and the Knicks do need a shooter. They're talking about re-signing Mitchell Robinson. They still have some move there by moving on from these vets. I don't think that other Knicks fans realize that you can't just expect something to all happen in one off season where 20 things happen, the Knicks become a championship contender. No, I just like them going in that right direction. If they can get themselves a wing with the young assets that they have and all these draft picks, I'd be more all for it. But I could see a situation where it ends up being that both Cam Reddish and Evan Fournier move on from this team. The Knicks have someone else in mind. But my main thing right now is just to move on from Julius Randle. I think it's the biggest thing. Once we move Julius in that contract, even though it's not as big as everyone makes it seem like it is, then I think we can move on from there to see what we want to do next.
All right, appreciate it. You got a space planned? Do you want to promote?
Just tonight, 6 o'clock for free agency. Me and State, we're going to be running a space. So if you're a Knicks fan, an NBA fan, just give us a follow. And I appreciate the platform, Chris. I always do, my man.
All right, have a good one, Mo. Question to the room before I move on to the next person. The first nickname I heard was DeJounte. What's the spelling of the nickname Gifted wanted us to use? Does anybody know?
I think it was mine, Chris. It was Ice, Tay, and then if we want to include 8, and if that ever happens, just A.
Okay, so I'll just use the Ice and the TE.
Correct.
All right. So yeah, there we go. I'm gonna get this out here because I need to know which one we're gonna use. I'm not good remembering names. Good morning, Emily. I hope you're doing great.
What's up, Chris?
Not much. Just doing what we do every day. I need 808s to go. He's got something, and then I promised Malayia some time and Maliika, so we got them, and then we'll come right to you, Emily. 808s, what do you want to add in here?
Yeah, so realistic expectations as far as Ice, whatever the nickname was for them. That's a top 5 backcourt next season. Not just the East. I mean, like the entire league. That's a top 5 backcourt.
I can see that.
Like, you finally get a big defensive weight next to Trae. Like, arguably, Jonte should have won Defensive Player of the Year last year. So,
he was my pick.
Yeah, like, that's going to be nasty next season, man. And I hate that I can't hate against the Hawks now because they're actually good. Like, damn.
Well, you can still hate the Hawks. It's okay. Like, there's no rules about how you can.
I can hate them if they're a top 5 seed. Shit.
Absolutely. There is a game tonight in the W, and I'm using this as a segue to move from 808s to Maliika real quick as well. Atlanta Dream, who are falling now to 8-11 against the New York Liberty, those Seafoam Green ladies. Just the Seafoam Green. I cannot do it. It is an eyesore. It is by far top 5 worst colors that my eyes ever did see. But they play tonight here on Twitter at 7 p.m. So as you're already on here on Twitter, probably listening to great free agency talk by fellow community of Hoop Spaces content creators. You see what I did there? Check it out. It's pretty cool. Your thoughts on tonight's game and more specifically Ryan Howard in the All-Star game. Then we'll pop it up to Maliika, who will give her thoughts on tonight's game for the W, as well as tell you about a great show on the Hoopstresses covering the WNBA. 808s, what you got?
It's going to be a really good game, honestly. The Liberty are 8-10 right now. I've got it right. They've won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They've won 6 of their last 8, I believe. So, I mean, they've turned it around, honestly. The Dream are, I mean, they're the Dream. I mean, they're still good, but they've kind of lost that spunk they've had through the first, maybe 5 to 7 games of the season. But I think it's still going to be a good game. I don't really want to give a score, but I do think the Liberty pull out in this one. Um, they're going to be a dark horse come playoff time. I don't think anyone's going to really want to play that team when they're really fully locked in, which is the way they've been the last couple of weeks. But it's going to be a good game. I really want. I can't wait.
All right. Maliika, hop in here. What are your thoughts on tonight's game? And then go ahead and talk about what the Hoopstresses have planned for Thursday.
Thank you. And 808s, I really enjoy your reporting and on the W. So, yeah, you have been on point every week with your posts, with everything. I commend you for giving as much love and support for the W as you do the NBA. And I just wanted to show my love there. But I agree with everything 808 said. I'm really excited with the way the Liberty are playing. The clicking and all. I hope we get all of our players back healthy soon. But I'm really excited and really happy. But tonight, I believe they face AD. So this will be fun, but a little sad at the same time. I'll always love AD, especially have a special place in my heart with all the struggles she went through with COVID. And man, being out for 2 seasons because of long COVID, not knowing whether she was going to play again, and to see her doing well in the A is special for me. But tonight we're going to be talking about the WNBA All-Star reserves and snubs. I'm sure everyone has opinions and rants on that one. There's a few I thought, and me and 808's already shared that, but I'm sure some arguments will be made for others. We'll talk about Sheena Charles and the For the Valley controversy. I mean, I have an opinion on that too. I mean, NBA players do it all the time. I mean, powers to both. And then Sabria, we're going to highlight our fellow hoopstress, Sabria Whitaker, who does a lot of work with the W. So we're going to highlight her work and what she does. So that'll be tonight, hoopstresses at 8:30. So definitely join us for our lively conversations. 808 will be there, and he will be chiming in. So definitely join us as we get into it. So that's really what I wanted to. And I'm looking forward to tonight's game as well. But it's free agency, man. 6:00, 6:01. Who's going to be the first one that announced their signing, admitting, which basically admits that they tampered. But yeah, let's do it.
It'll be PJ Tucker because the Sixers won't be charged for tampering. Like
Okay.
that, yeah, like that'll be, and the reason why is TJ Tucker will have a paper trail of personal outside of basketball business in the Philadelphia area, and that he had established prior to any of it. At least that's what I'm predicting the story to be. Like, don't assume that I'm saying that this is the truth. I'm merely telling you what I have heard. There you go. That's how it works.
No,
Ladies.
I just think
No, that's
Miami
fact.
was caught last year because I just think it was done sloppy. But
There
yeah.
That's really what it is. He doesn't.
Chris, that's facts. It's all over Philadelphia media that's part of the reason. It's not just basketball.
Yeah, I find it hilarious because uh, he's from North Carolina, right? He went to school in Texas. He played the majority of his career in the Texas and I whatever. Hey, if that's what it takes to make Joel Embiid happy, then as somebody who is now tied to that more, we just have to hope it works. Malayia, you're up next. I want to thank you for your patience. After you, we got CJ, and then we have a couple more people down below, and then we have Emily Austin up here. We're going to start talking some Nets. Malayia, go ahead. Congratulations again on your Warriors winning. What
Thank
more
you.
do you need?
Thank you. Thank you. Anyways, Chris, Adam Silver don't care about your Philly. So y'all know he will. If y'all get caught for tampering, he gonna get you and bad guys. So you already know that, right? Like you already know that, right? But anyways, I just no disrespect to Atlanta fans, but I'm happy that y'all got you got Javante Murray. He is a great player. So good for y'all. But y'all know this for a fact that Trae Young is Dolph Ziggler to Stephen Curry's Shawn Michaels. Just letting y'all know that. Can y'all hear me, Chris?
The crazy
okay, if y'all know what wrestling is, do y'all know if y'all know what wrestling is? Trae Young is Dolph Ziggler to Stephen Curry's Shawn Michaels. So that means, Trae, you the dang bootleg copy. You the bootleg copy of Stephen Curry. You know that, right? You the bootleg. You bootleg. You know with the movie and you see the people head coming through the film. It's not the actual film because Joker's recording it. You see that? Yeah. That's what Trae Young is. Oh, Stephen Curry. He the bootleg version. Okay. So I hope all y'all teams get what y'all get. I'm gonna pray for Knicks fans because I know there's some Knicks fans up. They need because some black. It sounds like some Chicago Cubs stuff with the Knicks. Okay. So I'm gonna pray for y'all. Because, there have been so many guys y'all cried over because y'all couldn't be able to get. And now y'all going for Bronson. Knowing, to me, he ain't, he okay. He okay. He all right. But I hope y'all get him because it seems like y'all really want him. Y'all think he going to be somebody. No, he going to be all right. He going to be all right. So, I hope all y'all, doing good. But y'all, just to let y'all know. Okay, y'all might get to the playoffs. Y'all might even get back to the conference finals, Atlanta Hawks fans. But just to know, Trae Young is Dolph Ziggler to Stephen Curry's Shawn Michaels. Straight facts. I'm done. I use my time.
All right, that deserves some points. I'm gonna give you 3, because I don't even watch wrestling, but I understood that because I know the people involved in that. That is hilarious. Good job. Also a good job today. Irvin Magic Johnson is back to his trollish self. And if you don't think Magic Johnson is a troll, you haven't been watching Magic Johnson for 30 plus years. Quote, I want to wish Rob Pelinka and the Lakers the best of luck in free agency. They can't do anything. They're stuck. Oh, man. Magic is smiling. I can see his teeth all the way from here. Big smile. Super happy. CJ, you're up next. Thank you for your patience. And then we'll go to Emily Austin. We'll talk some Nets. We will be going probably for another 30 minutes to an hour here on Hoop Spaces covering NBA free agency. Thank you, everybody, for popping in and giving us part of your valuable time. You could be anywhere, but you're here, and that makes us happy. It really does. CJ, go ahead.
You got to be more specific.
Nah, that's a horn.
Yeah, I don't. There's only one who's been waiting for a minute up on stage. All right.
I was trying to save him.
He's laughing too.
Come on, this is scandalous.
How are you laughing? that horn was for you.
Well, it was me?
No, not you.
Thank God. I was about to say, man. Oof.
Oh, the CJ who knows now that the horn was for him.
got a question. I'm a Brooklyn Nets fan, and I
Oh,
was
that
just
explains
asking,
it.
like, have anything been said about Bruce Brown yet?
Bro, are you in like a cave right now?
Nothing has been said about Bruce Brown. I actually happen to expect Bruce Brown back. I think he's a great fit next to Khah. I do. Like, if you've seen him play, he plays hard. If you put him in the 2 guard spot, he's not going to be overmatched against power forwards. But he's a 25-minute player, and if you're thinking about bringing him back to be more than that, I that's not a good sign. The curious thing, and we'll get to it with Emily Austin as well. Danger's about to pop up here, and I put this out in a tweet. The one thing I took away yesterday was from the Brooklyn Nets, and that was Patty Mills not re-upping. Like, I don't think people understand. He signed a 2-year deal with the player option worth $10 million at $5 million apiece, and he made his incentives, which made his contract more than 5, made it 6.25. Generally speaking, when you are a player and you hit your raise, you don't opt out of extra free money that you negotiated in, and he still did, even though they did the same lip service that everybody does. Oh, well, there might be a pathway back. Emily, we understand everything that happened with Kyrie. No trade developed. Kyrie came out and said, hey, I really thought about going to the Lakers for $6.5 million. What are you wanting Sean Marks to do? Like, it is just a real bad movie right now over at Barclays. What do you got?
Yeah, personally, I think it would be very dumb for them to miss out on re-signing Bruce Brown. I don't know, like, how many of you guys thoroughly followed the Nets, but this guy is, like, heavily slept on, in my opinion, and I don't really say that about too many players. But Bruce contributed so much throughout the playoffs. Like, I went to a lot of the games, and every arena, like, if you're spacing out, if you're on your phone or some shit at a game, which why would you be? But you're still hearing Bruce Brown every 2 seconds. This man, like, carried for that. Patty Mills, on the other hand, I don't really take that as a big loss, to be honest. Especially re-signing Kyrie and KD. Hopefully they both play consistently and stay healthy. I don't think it's necessary to even re-sign Patty. As long as you keep Bruce, hopefully Ben Simmons can actually step up to the plate. I'm afraid, I don't know about anyone else, I'd love to hear more opinions. Personally, I think he's going to be so rusty, because how not? I haven't heard too much about like off-season training. Haven't seen, well, I don't want to like say that, but I haven't really seen him at the facilities training, and I'm just scared he's just gonna be like a waste of money. I don't know if that's like controversial because everyone loves him on the Nets, but I think yeah, I don't really care about Patty Mills, honestly. I was gonna talk about the Knicks.
Go ahead.
Why would you want to talk about the Knicks?
I wanted to ask if Randall's maybe leaving. I know Mitch Robinson is not coming back. Who do they have as a good big?
Jericho Sims' contract is expected to be converted, and they are open. Like, they need a big.
They need a good big.
I still think there's a pathway for Mitch to come back if his market doesn't develop the way he wants it to. But when you look at the bevy of bigs available, I don't see how he's not going to get paid.
I don't think it's a money thing. I think it's just moving on to the next.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I'm bringing up a couple of Knicks fans real quick. We'll get their thoughts. Bankai, you popped up first, and Mo. What are your thoughts, Mitch Robinson?
I just wanted to respond to Emily. I don't think that it's 100% that Mitchell Robinson's not coming back. The Knicks media reporters and beat writers have explained.
It's like a good 90%.
No, not anymore. I think that's false. The past 3 days, they've been spoken about that they might continue to give him his deal at around $50 million per year. I'd say about a week ago it was like 95%, but after Detroit made their moves and Charlotte's making moves, it's actually dropped significantly. And a lot of Knicks beat writers and reporters are talking about how they're trying to work out a deal for around 4 for $60, around $15 million a year for Mitch. That's all I wanted to respond by saying.
That is
I will pull Shams, and I'll be back later.
Yeah, I'll say that is what the New York writers are saying. I know that there's some other people who have some different information. Wink. Like, I like throwing a wink out there.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say 4 years, $60 million. That's something that CP from Knicks Fan TV was talking about. I believe just last night. I think Jake Fisher from Bleacher Report also mentioned that. So I'd say something around that. I think they're really working like that cap space they clear up. Obviously, mainly for Jalen Brunson, but I believe some part of it was also for Mitchell Robinson. Like they kept them in mind. I think part of him he also wants to stay. Um, and I really don't believe those other reports that the Knicks are interested in Drummond. Um, I really don't think they're interested in him. I think that's just like a smoke screen type of thing. Hartstein or Hartstein. I apologize if I'm saying his
Hart,
last name wrong.
Hart, Hartenstein.
Hartstein. That one I can believe more because he's 24 and he might have some upside. But then again, we do have Jericho Sims, and as you just mentioned, the Knicks are trying to, they are looking to convert his contract from the two-way that he had last season. So I'm not entirely sure about the Hartstein thing, but I think they'd be doing their due diligence on him either way. But I see Mitch. Mitch is coming back. I think he's coming back.
All right. I look. This is what I say: is everybody is gone until there's no reason to be gone. Free agency, and it's a mindset. And I think a lot of people kind of didn't understand, like how KD took his free agency tour before he went to Brooklyn. Like, if you've never been recruited in your life, it is a unique experience, and not every NBA player gets to be recruited, right? And every NBA player generally wants to be recruited. And what happens is other teams will still continue to make moves to make themselves better. So what happens at the end of the season when people have these wonderful projections, they tend to be like thrown away by the time free agency comes around because the GM will always pick what's best in the moment in their face unless they really know that they have something in the back end. So like if you look at Detroit, when Duran became available by the Knicks because they didn't want the salary cap of the draft pick, that essentially moved Mitchell Robinson further away from Detroit. They then doubled down, essentially adding Noel. So Detroit is now out because that gives them a rookie big, Noel and Kelly O and Isaiah Stewart. So expect one of them to be bought out or moved, but they're done. Charlotte drafts Mark Williams. This is an interesting juxtaposition because they also have Kai Jones and a couple other younger power forwards down there as well with Mason Plumlee. So, like, do you bring in Mitchell Robinson, which essentially that's what Mark Williams is as a draft pick, and you still now have Mason Plumlee on your roster for $8 to $10 million? Like, it seems fishy there. The surprise move, I think, would be Phoenix if Ayton does leave because JaVale McGee's out there and he's going to get paid and probably want to go to a more legit contender in his mind. So that leaves a wide gaping hole in Phoenix. And man, I tell you, Mitchell Robinson in Phoenix, that could work. That could be a 15 and 12, 2.5 block per game player easy. So yeah, he could be back, but hey, I'm throwing it out there. Let me give some shout outs down below, ladies and gentlemen. We've got the Mavs and Magic draft there, credentialed NBA draft analyst. He's been up a couple of times to talk Magic and Mavs. Charles Thorpe is in the building from Men's Journal. He hosts Space Up here with athletes and public figures about health and wellness, specifically from the male point of view. But he's also had a couple of spaces focused on mental health and women as well. Make sure you shoot him a follow. And a big up to Destiny Bentley. Thank you for the follow on YouTube. Appreciate it. And if you like Hoop Spaces, you've heard us for 200 and now 24 episodes across the season and now this off season. Like, what are you waiting for? Hop on board, hit subscribe, and do all that jazz and make the world a better place. All right. Up next to close out the Nets talk, we got Danger. We'll hit up Half Court Heat for some Philly talk. I want to thank everybody for popping in. We got about another 40, 50 minutes to go. Half Court after Danger. Danger, good morning.
Morning, Chris. I'm actually not really in the mood to talk Nets for another 5-6 hours. This is a big day for hashtag my sources, a big day for this, that, and the other thing. But being a steward of basketball and someone that loves to share the greatness of it with others, I just wanted to come up here quick and remind everybody, if you want to bridge the gap between hoop spaces and the start of free agency, next season's NBA MVP, Luka Doncic, is tipping off in his hometown against local rival Croatia. This is a World Cup qualifier. It's going to be a very intense atmosphere, and you have several NBA players playing. I just find it funny that he's going to be in his hometown while Jalen Brunson is eating caviar at Don Rico's on Fifth Avenue, counting all of his fucking bills that he's about to sucker somebody into paying him. But yes, so if you guys love basketball, I'm not going to put the illegal links in the Jumbotron, but a simple Twitter search should be able to get you a feed on that. Secondly, I miss when free agency started at midnight. This is torture. I haven't even decided what I want to eat for lunch yet because I'm scrolling through the same 27 rumors that I've been looking at for the last 10 days. We need to amend this. We need to start it again at midnight. We all meet at the club. We get bottle service. We put Woj and Sham's tweets on the big screen behind the DJ booth, and we all just have a grand old time. Because this starting early afternoon, late afternoon nonsense, it ain't for me. I'm a New Yorker. I like to go quick. I like to have a good time. Sitting around waiting all day makes me really grouchy. And lastly, I will have haikus for whatever happens in free agency on tomorrow's Hoop Spaces, but no haikus today. There's nothing for me to wax poetic about. Like I said, it's the same 10 rumors. That's what I got for you so far today, Mr. Chris.
Definitely appreciate it, Danger, and check out for the haikus, man. Like there's something in the works possibly with that. Yeah, maybe
Oh,
something.
update. I was left on scene regarding my Knicks comment towards Jalen Brunson, and they say no news is good news. So take that as you will.
All right, no news is good news.
I'm as a Mavs consultant. I have officially sailed that ship when I saw today that Mark Cuban was going to be in New York on business anyway. So this is not like not Andre Drummond. Who am I thinking of? Oh my God, this is not a DeAndre Jordan situation where they're flying out and they're locking him in Uncle Rick's basement and making the last ditch effort. Cuban was just on another business expenditure that it was going to be in New York anyway, and
That's convenient.
Shark Tank.
and
He was shooting an episode of Shark Tank.
Jalen's doing him the courtesy of telling him goodbye to his face, is how I feel. Pat Riley was like, screw this. I ain't getting involved with this circus. He pulled the horses off. The Miami meeting is canceled. And we go on from there. I mean, more power to him. Get your bag. But a reason that I'm not getting too worked up today is because the Mavs are like Vegas favorites to sign 5 different people if they don't sign with their own teams. The Nets are linked to 25 different people. Everybody's linked to 25 different people. It's real calm before the storm with a lot of debris falling from the sky. So I got nothing to talk about today. Congratulations to the Atlanta Hawks on that trade yesterday and securing the play-in for the next 3 years. That was beautiful for them. And that's about it.
Man, everyone's taking their shots at the Hawks. Love it. I love it. We're here for it. Al, what's up, man? Good afternoon. You're here with me. 3 years, 30 million for PJ Tucker. Not happy, but it is what it is. What do you got?
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, he's a piece, man. He's a piece, and it is what it is. It isn't our money, so I'm not worrying about the money part. I wish he was a little younger, but it is what it is. He actually wanted to come. So what did we have last year? So I'm good with that. It is what it is. And Pascal, I heard you guys talking about him earlier, leaving Utah. He's heavily rumored to come to Philly. A lot of Sixers media is talking about that he's going to come and jump in the free agent train. Let me say a couple quick things. Murray is nice. I mean, he's very nice. But what is does that make them top 4 seed? No, not to me. Unless they add Ayton, which I see some rumors added 8 and 2. I don't know how, but you know, they could probably figure that out if they move enough pieces around and do some trades. So I'm not blown away by it. Obviously, he's very, very nice. He should have probably been Defensive Player of the Year because he's that nice. But it's not blowing me away that I'm scared of him now. And why is everybody talking about what's the name going to New York? Like, okay, Brunson is nice too. But all right, so what does that get you to the 7th seeds? Maybe. So why they acting like he's their savior? Like, Brunson, he's going to get paid and he's going to be, yeah. So what? I mean, if it's not a big name enough to move the needle for you could get in the top 5, top 4, then it's not exciting to me. So I don't know why everybody's so excited about that. As far as us, Harden did what he's supposed to do, man. He said in this post game, at the end of game 6, I'm gonna do whatever I'm gonna do whatever it takes to win. So he's doing it. He took less money, and we're gonna get Tucker. And Wendy was talking earlier today, like it could be 3 more pieces added. So I don't know what's gonna happen, but I know adding more pieces to our team is only gonna make us better. And then we're adding a healthy Embiid. Maxey that's in the gym now looking like, oh my God, like he's going to be a walking bucket next year. Harden coming back wanting to prove something to everybody. So I'm just sitting back and saying, and by the way, the person that was talking about it being 6 o'clock, come on, man, it's all money. You want to stay up to 2 o'clock in the morning, 2, 3,
Yes.
4, retweeting,
Yes.
or you want it on prime time so everybody can see all the tweets coming on at the same time. So it's all about money. They know that a lot of people didn't see the signings in the middle of the night, so that's why they was like, let's move it. So I'm very excited about our squad. I'm looking forward to how we're going to retool the squad. I don't know if Tobias is going to stay or not. I don't know. I don't know about Tobias. I kind of want him to stay, but if we don't get the right pieces, then I'm not just trading him just to trade him. It's got to be the right pieces. But I'm very excited about what we're coming back with. What you think about and then we got Melton. He's nice, very nice for what we traded. That's nothing, but that's a nice piece. Well, I've really heard what you said. I haven't been on in a while, Chris. What do you think about so far everything? I heard you talk about
I love the Melton pick because it allows a guard to come off the bench that can play either next to Tyrese Maxey or next to James Harden, who's also more defensive minded. I think at times he can go off, but I think also at times he can get to Malik Beasley on offense, and he needs to be more settled in the role. I like this because if we happen to keep Tobias Harris, and like a lot of people are going to say contract and all this stuff, but if you keep Harris, this moves Harris off the bench because PJ would more likely.
Think so?
Yeah, PJ more likely starts. He doesn't get above 26 minutes. Tobias Harris is able to come in as the de facto number 1 option of the second unit, or the de facto number 2 option with whatever primary options that's still out from the starting unit. And that allows a more balanced approach for a 7 to 9 man roster.
So who's your starting? Thibault, Tucker?
We would probably go Embiid, Tucker, Thibault, Harden, Maxey.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really thought of moving Harris to the bench yet, but I guess what's today? Thursday. I guess
if you put him and Tucker
Monday, I guess by Monday we'll know either way, because if you're gonna make the trade, you're gonna make it right away. You're not gonna wait to the end of the summer.
Yeah, and by the way, like Thibault's only in there as a placeholder.
Right.
I have heard that it's not that they want to trade him, is that they will trade him to get the right piece if they deem it needed. So it's not like they're really actively trying to.
Right. That's what's going around. Like they don't. if they were going to move him, they would have moved him last year if they really wanted to. They don't want to move him, but for the right piece, they absolutely will move him. Again, that's all over social media, all over all the writers in Philly. So I kind of want him to come back because I just think, I don't know why, I just got this feeling that he's going to come back with a vengeance, as long a longer heart. And I don't know about second team Harden, but I think he's got a lot to prove, and he's going to show everybody this year.
Quick stat by StatMuse. John Collins' career with the Hawks: 16.5 points per game, 8.3 rebounds per game, 56% field goal percentage. The only other player in Atlanta Hawk history to do so is Walt Bellamy. Nice. Up next, we got Nick here. Nick Tuths. I've known you on social dropping audio for 2 years now, man. How you doing?
Not bad, man. Just getting my workout in early so I can settle in and pop some popcorn and see what teams build for the future and what teams ruin them.
All right. Well, what do you got on the scuttlebutt that you can share?
Ooh. Honestly, at this point, I probably can't do any of that, but I am interested in talking about a couple guys. You never know who's listening.
I know that. Trust me. I know. Like, I know.
Yeah,
that's why.
Yeah.
I get
I'm not trying to see my DMs explode. But ESPN PR. But I do think there are some guys out there that I haven't heard anybody talk about yet. I mean, before we do that, I haven't really heard a bunch of people in New York celebrating Jalen Brunson like he's the second coming. That's not like what I'm experiencing here in the tri-state. But I'm glad that people are celebrating him. That's always nice. But I would say, a couple names down the list that I'm interested in, and we talked about him a little bit on J&J today, is I'm interested in to see what happens with TJ Warren. Like, TJ Warren hasn't played in basically 2 years, but the last time we saw him, he was a walking bucket. Seems like the kind of guy who could come off the bench for a contending team on like a low deal, on a prove it kind of a deal, discounted off the injury, and, be giving you 15, 18, 22, 25 on any given night. So I'd like to see somebody, invest in him. I also just want to see him healthy. I mean, guys with foot injuries tend to not get over them because large humans are just built different. So I would like to see where TJ Warren goes. I want to see what's up with Chris Boucher. Like, he's that weird flexy big who kind of has some outside game. It's not quite developed yet, but protects the hoop at a pretty elite level, but weighs 112 pounds. And so with teams some teams trying to go supersized lineups, some teams seeing in the playoffs how power forwards play more center. That's where the minutes slide to over the last 5 years. The data says power forward minutes increase by 25 to 30% in the playoffs, and center minutes decrease by a similar amount. Could he be the kind of guy that slides into a lineup and plays some 4 for you, but in the playoffs, is giving you 15 or 18 minutes at the 5 and blocking shots, and he bumps his shooting up a little bit, lends you a little bit of inside out kind of playmaking. I think he's I don't know. I think he's fun to watch. I think he's also kind of been underrated, been playing outside of most people's purview and around other forwards who other people like more. Colin Sexton, I think, is another really volatile case and another really interesting dude who's, a better shooter than you think he is and a worse defender than most people think he is. And so he's young. He's 1 season removed from averaging 24 and 4. And so, I know a lot of guys like to put on the binoculars and say he's got that dog in him. So I'm interested. I want to see him go somewhere and be another guy who'd come off the bench as your third guard, go in some 3-guard lineups, and can really ISO up and get you a bucket in the same way that, guards who are, if you think of somebody as a diet maxi, you know what I mean? It's maybe a label I'd put on him if I was trying to sell him to other teams. So there's just a couple guys that like I've been talking about with friends of mine and people here, and we're just like interested to see where they're going to line up. I mean, because the big names are the big names, and we're going to watch to see what Harden's deal looks like, and we're going to watch to see, what happens with Bradley Beal when he resigns for $250 million and then asks for a trade in 3 months. Like, but there are guys further down the list who are gonna like potentially end up on contenders and potentially end up on really competitive teams and kind of change the makeup of their roster. And so I don't know, that's kind of stuff that like I guess having been doing this for a couple of years and being around the reporters and I just like I don't know, I'm a dork, so I'm interested in like the guys who are going to come in and play like that 5, 6, 7, 8 role on the roster, but potentially really contribute.
Yeah, I'm trying to nail down what that surprise trade is going to be. But one player that fits this mold that I actually want to see that goes somewhere is DeLon Wright. After Atlanta picking up DeJounte Murray, what does DeLon Wright do? Has he become expendable as they look for a more offensive guard off the bench? Prior to getting DeAnthony Melton, I wanted the Sixers to go after DeLon Wright. So I'm with you, Nick. I want to know who these 5, 6, 7 guys are, so we can know what the depth is and what I think their true contention rate is. Another player I wanted your thoughts on Tyus Jones.
Tyus Jones is good, man.
Yeah, people keep talking.
Tyus Jones is like a top 15, like a top. I'd have to like put the rosters in front of me, but like Tyus Jones might be one of the 15 or 20 best point guards in the league, like pretty easily. And like he's getting treated like a backup because of kind of where he's been and the roster around him. And Tyus Jones could go somewhere and like really fix a team's guard issues. Like he's small, obviously, but he defends, he shoots, he distributes, he protects the ball. He does not give away possessions, like almost in like a Chris Paulian way when he's playing his best basketball. Like Tyus Jones, good.
His per 100 is crazy. 125 offensive rating, 20 points, 10 assists, right? Like that is insane. And I was going to ask, like, because Jalen Brunson has that top dog point guard role and he's being treated as a backup, who do you think steals him? Because I honestly, he says he'll come back to Memphis, but like everything else he said is he wants a shot to run a squad. My question was, why not DC? I know they just picked up Monte Morris, but Monte Morris hasn't started as much as Tyus Jones. Why not DC? What other team could we see Tyus Jones? And what else do you think happens before 6 p.m.?
I mean, I really like Tyus Jones, and I like the idea of him going to DC. I think, he's the kind of guy, if you believe, dramatic pause, that Bradley Beal really does want to see them build a competitive team in DC. He's the kind of guy you'd want to pick up. Like, he's a very good guard. He defends. Like, he'll get you off the ball. He'll give you a little bit of space. Like, and then if you take him and then Will Barton and Monte Morris become kind of like your kind of flex guards and wings, like suddenly that's like a very desirable group of 4 guards and wings. And that's before you even get to, some of the guys they've drafted over the recent years. Like maybe you like Avdia, maybe you don't, whatever. But like that's a competitive backcourt and wing situation. So I do like that. This is maybe blasphemous, but like I could make an argument that for $13 million a year, he's a better investment than Jalen Brunson at 30. You know what I mean? Like, I think you could make that argument.
Yeah, I've made that argument already. So, I'm with you.
so no, I like where your head's at on that. I think that's good. Obviously, like you'd love to see him. I'm trying to think of like if Brogdon gets shifted, I kind of like his fit out in Indiana, but I just don't know if he's on the timeline anymore.
Nah. Indiana's all in on Tyrese Halliburton, man. That's the timeline. If you aren't 22 and younger, the Pacers seemingly don't want you, including Miles Turner. They keep saying they don't want to trade him. Like that's just not true. They're just waiting so they can get the most maximum value out of it. Trust me. Like
yeah. That's the way I see it playing out. And then, if the Knicks decide to do something with Julius Randle, like I think that will be exciting.
Uh,
That's the hope.
what do you got for the J&J show?
Let's see. We broke down the DeJounte trade. We did about 7 or 8 minutes on kind of just Hawks roster, and where he fits and what he looks like with Ice Trey. People talking about Ice Tay for him. I kind of feel like Atlanta should be Sweet Tay, shouldn't it? Is that just me? I don't know. I heard the nicknames earlier.
Good. I like that.
So we did that. We got into the DeAndre Ayton situation. We're just kind of all wondering, like, if it kind of feels like he's out of escape routes. You know what I mean? It feels like all the ships have left, and he's kind of like standing in the bay looking at a bunch of empty chutes. And I don't know what that's going to mean for him. If it's going to be a short-term deal with somebody for a decent amount of cash, or like, does he got to go hop the PJ, get outside of Chris Paul's house, throw the speakers up on his shoulder like John Cusack, or ask him to play for his heart like Love and Basketball, and just say, hey man, I know what you heard about me and probably from me in the locker room, but I've changed, and I really want to make it work with you. I think that might have to be something we see for him, just because he's running out of options.
I love it, and I'm going to use that explanation for somebody else too. I am predicting Dennis Schroeder will be back in Atlanta as the backup point guard for Trae Young. We'll go to Bankai and CJ real quick, and if anybody else has a question, go ahead. Now's the time. I want to thank everybody for popping in. I want to give a huge shout out to my man C. Hendo, Chris Henderson. Social Drop in Audio is relatively new. It's 2 years, really into its existence of usage. I came across C. Hendo on Clubhouse, and the man has helped me without any want of anything in return. Anytime that I've had a question, he's been able to help and answer, and he comes up with his own great content every day covering the NBA, Major League Baseball, and video games. Shoot the man a follow. He's going to be doing big things. C. Hendo, if you want to pop up, if you can. I know you're busy. We'll make sure to give you some airtime. K. Lou in the building, one half of one of the best women's basketball pods you can listen to. Make sure you shoot him a follow. Also, I want to give a huge shout out to all of the Atlanta Hawks fans who did go into spaces last night and this morning and didn't act a fool because you understand that it was a singular trade and one piece is only changed, and anything can happen. So for you rational Hawk fans, thank you from the bottom of all of our hearts. We appreciate you. Up next, Bankai, then CJ. We got Son of a Christian up here to talk some Celtics, and my man C. Hendo's going to pop up to give his thoughts here on the free agency. Go ahead, Bankai.
Thanks, Chris. So I'm not sure if you were aware, but your Sixers are engaged in trade talks with the Rockets for Eric Gordon.
It's up there. It is the least kept secret, and no one like it because we're redoing the 2015-2016 Rockets.
Correct. Anyways, a name that I haven't heard people mention too much, which I would like the Knicks for at least to see what's going on, maybe see if they could take a flyer. I'm not sure how it will work out, but Lou Dort, I think that the OKC didn't pick up his what was it? They didn't offer him a contract extension, right? If I'm not mistaken.
His team option wasn't picked up.
Okay, so his team option wasn't picked up, but yeah, that's a name that I'd like to see the Knicks at least inquire about, like maybe talk to him, see what's going on with that. I really like his defensive capabilities. I think he's a very rugged, tough type of player. I think he'd really fit here in New York. I know the shooting can be a bit of an issue with him, but that aside, I love his mentality. I think he's very team first. And I like I said, I think he would fit well here in New York as a Knick. I'd like to see the Knicks at least inquire about him and see what's going on. I believe he can also help out plenty of other teams around the league.
Yeah, no, I think he can too. Anybody want to actually respond? Anybody? No.
Yeah, I will. I mean, I was surprised when OKC didn't pick up his team option. It was like 1.3 mil. It seems like they do want to resign him to a longer term deal and kind of control his. He's going to be a restricted free agent, so they kind of control um his future if they want to match the offer. But yeah, I was surprised that a team option that small was turned down. For me, I think Lou Dort is a good player. I mean, he is a very hot and cold shooter, so I prefer a guy a bit more consistent shooting wise. But to your point, Bankai, about being an effort team player, I think he's definitely he fits that caliber. But I prefer a bit more shooting from the guard position than Lou Dort.
For the right money, I'd take him here.
I heard that Chinanu Onyeweku was available to join the 76ers. He was a rookie for the Houston Rockets in 2016. There you go. CJ, go ahead before we move over to Chris Henderson.
So I wanted to just kind of talk on the whole Aiden thing because he does seem to be running out of options, but surprisingly enough, you have Minnesota who seems to want to put Karl Anthony Towns at the 4 and are interested in Aiden as well as the Pacers. And to me, like if there's a good deal out there left, I feel like Aiden for Turner, pretty good deal. Like I don't think they can get much better than Turner. And I know you mentioned earlier, Chris, you mentioned Mitchell Robinson, but like either one of those to me would be a great deal for Phoenix. And I don't think Aiden fits well next to Karl Anthony Towns because to me, if you're going to ask Karl Anthony Towns to guard fours, he's going to get abused, and so would Aiden. So them two together doesn't sound great. But putting Aiden in Indiana makes more sense to me. So like that's crazy. Like I don't know if that makes much sense as far as everything else. And then the Lou Dort thing, I just want to touch on real fast. I don't know why, but I get the feeling he's gonna come back. But I think they want to see what the market gives for his value. And if it's too rich for their blood, then they'll probably like let him go. But I get the feeling he's coming back. Like they're gonna match whatever teams offer Lou Dort for their OKC.
Well, they more likely they're going to wait until the market is dead, and then that actually arbitrarily increases value, right?
Yeah, and then
He's at 1.9 mil. Teams are going to be struggling, and I'm not saying the Lakers, but the Lakers having a future first round could be like, oh my God, we have to choose between Ricky Rubio and somebody else, and then like Oklahoma, Sam Presti says, hey, that 2017, how about we give you a second and Lou Dort, and you give us that 2017 unprotected, right?
And then one more thing, Chris, I just wanted to say this real fast. It's going to be interesting to see a lot of the guys who are coming off of injuries who were like either kind of forgotten bodies on teams, like a Thomas Bryant, who I saw this morning as a free agent and I didn't realize that. But like, I think there's a couple of forgotten guys who like they're going to get signed to teams. They're going to make immediate impacts when they play. Like that's going to be interesting to see where some of those guys end up. So like a lot of these, like I guess you could say like comeback players, like it's gonna be interesting to see where a lot of them end up as well in free agency.
Well, I tell you one player that I think will have a surprising location next year, and that's Tony Snell, ladies and gentlemen, owner of the Tony Snell Award. And if you don't know about the Tony Snell Award, then I'm sorry, you are actually not a basketball fan.
Chris, let me enjoy him for another half a season, please. I need the Tony Snellican on my bench until the trade deadline, okay?
The Tony Snellican, I think he becomes the Golden State Warrior. Because I think
oh my God.
I think Golden State loses out on Gary Payton II.
Chris, first of all, that's just nasty work on your part. And second of all,
Blasphemy.
I believe GP2 comes back because they're gonna take him over Otto Porter Jr. And Tony Snell can stay right in New Orleans. eating etouffee or whatever else is out there.
You mean whatever else, CJ? It's a very long list of food. I promise.
Oh, I know. I didn't feel like naming it all, like beignets
Bobby
and stuff
Porter,
like that.
Portis is interested. I heard him coming to Golden State. Just
That
put
was
that out
fake,
there.
Danny.
That's
That was
It was
fake,
fake.
Danny.
that's not.
Okay.
Up
Okay.
next, we
He's
got
a Milwaukee cult hero. He's not leaving Milwaukee.
we have C Hendo, ladies and gentlemen, who's actually taking a break off of his Major League Baseball grind to come in and talk NBA free agency and also have some fun with some hilarious hijinks on Twitter. C Hendo, it's been a minute, man. I've been seeing you grind, interviewing literally every player. Mike Trout, Juan Soto, and a whole rack of others. Thanks for popping in. Your thoughts on the Dallas Mavericks, Jalen Brunson, anything in free agency, and then we'll get into some baseball with what you got going on.
Yeah, real quick. So happy free agency day, or happy watch the pockets day, as I call it. First off, anybody that, if you know me very well, I don't like the whole source thing, and we joke around with this, but I see today that one of my guys, he did the ultimate hijinks on me, and of course he's verified. Shout out to Cam. He gonna pay for this, but he tweeted out that I said DeAndre Ayton has interest of going to the Hawks, and this people are really falling for this, and it's hilarious because free agency, everybody knows sources all of a sudden, right? And to me, it's funny. It's a hijinks going on with that right now. And people are a little optimistic because they do look at my page and they see these interviews and they're like, he may actually be on to something. Now, if it actually works out, I might act like I really knew, but yeah, it is a prank. So that's the first thing. So if you see the DeAndre Ayton tweet, if you want to believe it, hey, believe it. More power to you. But yeah, man, the Mavericks and Brunson right now is an interesting thing. I want Jalen Brunson to get all the money he can get, but for the Dallas Mavericks, I think it may be a little too steep. I think he's a Knick today. Unless something happens to change your heart, I can't see anything happening. Like I said, at the end of the day, man, like the Mavs had the opportunity to sign him for a cheaper deal, and then he banked on himself, and it's paying off. So more love to Jalen Brunson, man, for what he did for the Mavericks. But hey, at the end of the day, the Mavs probably don't want to pay that much. I don't think anybody in this room would pay, if you were the owner of a team, would you want to pay Brunson over $25 million or $20 million a year? So it is what it is. I think the Mavs will find a solution. Obviously, like Kemba, I would like for them to go out to a guy like Colin Sexton. He's restricted, obviously, but you'll see how they work out. Like I said, it's going to be a wild night. But I do think Jalen Brunson is going to be a Knick. I think it's pretty much set in stone. In that case, it's a change of heart. But free agency has been pretty crazy so far. I think it's a lot of trades that are bound to happen. A lot of shifting around with different teams. I do think Atlanta's not done though. I think the Hawks are going to make another move. Not DeAndre Ayton, as the joke has been going around, but if they do get DeAndre Ayton, that would be insane. But yeah, Jalen Brunson, I think, is a Knick, and it is unfortunate. Great guy, but the Mavs should be on the alert to be looking for other replacements.
Man, if Ayton ends up in Atlanta, you're gonna get a lot of phone calls.
No, I'm probably gonna have to delete my Twitter because that's the funniest thing ever because we've been playing this prank all day. It's just we having fun and I can't believe people are so gullible on here. That's the part that gets me. Like you literally can say per sources and it happens. That's the funny part. Is it? Like we having fun and look, if it actually happens, man, I don't know if I should run with it. It could actually happen some sort of way. And if that happens, oh my God, I'm gonna act like I was the man here. But yeah, like I said, it's a lot of hijinks going on. I tell everybody all the time, even with Woj and Shams, they do their job. They do a good job, but everything is just source-based right now. It's crazy enough that a prank tweet has gotten tweeted by the news.
Yeah. I try not to say that because, to me, what you do is different from what I do. And I see a pretty clear line of demarcation. So if it goes and it happens, I'm gonna be like, yo, my man C Hendo called this. Taking a break from the NBA, you've been gallivanting around the Major League Baseball, interviewing play after play after player. If you want to, you can go to IG, search out C Hendo, YouTube C Hendo, shoot him a subscribe if you are a baseball fan. Best interview so far, and what else do you get to look forward to heading in to the dog days of summer? The All-Star break.
Oh man, best interview so far. See, that's gonna be. Oh, I mean, obviously you could say Mike Trout, but I mean, Lily. Like a couple of days ago, I was able to interview Juan Soto. He's a good young guy. If you like baseball, you know who Juan Soto is. He's amazing. I've interviewed so many guys this year. I'm on a pace of like every day since the season started, dropping an interview. So I got interviews lined up until literally almost like August right now. So, it's a lot of guys that I probably haven't announced yet, but I would say right now, definitely, Soto and Trout. And if you're a Braves fan, definitely Austin Riley, who's a really good guy. Austin was one of my favorite people to talk to this year. Ozzy Albi. There's so many guys that I've talked to this year, and I'm just lucky enough to do it and just try to have some fun in baseball, man, because like at the end of the day, NBA reigns supreme, right? NFL reigns supreme, and baseball doesn't really have that culture to it, right? And when you get these players in their own element and have fun with them and talk sneakers, gaming, and cool baseball stuff like walk-up music and all that stuff, it's pretty dope. And like I said, I've been fortunate this year where my workload has expanded. But other than that, man, I am gonna be doing some NBA stuff. So like I said, I'm trying to get with Hardy right now that got drafted by the Mavs. We're gonna be working on something as well. Maybe have a couple of NBA guys do a podcast with me. So we'll see who's up there and see who's available. But yeah, a lot of stuff come out. I just dropped an NFL interview, which is very rare. Like when you're talking about being everywhere, I just dropped an interview with the Chiefs wide receiver Sky Moore, who just got drafted by them, and a lot of people consider him the replacement eventually for Tyreek Hill. So yeah, I'll be everywhere, man. So, but I'm really excited about this NBA stuff, man. I think it's gonna be a fun night for all of us. I just hope everybody has fun, man. Everybody team prospers, and look, man. We gonna get some breaking news. I think pretty soon with a couple of big deals that'll go through. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, you can find me, like I said, Ciendo. Y'all keep doing y'all thing in here, man. Because like I said, even though I'm not in here, I do pop in on the radio shows page, and I listen. And then, like I said, I enjoyed what y'all are bringing in for this this community, this spaces. Like I said, y'all do a great job, and Chris, you've been doing a great job. I'm proud of you for what you're doing to elevate people out here, man, that get people's names out here. And to me, that's just a thing. I think that we need this more in the culture. People come up and speak. And like I said, at the end of the day, let's just be good to each other, because I know right now a lot of people are going at it by who team going to sign what and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, man, it's just sports, right? So we got to take it what it is. And like I said, let's have fun, man, because tonight's going to be crazy, right? I hope tomorrow we all can come here and laugh at some team. I hope it ain't the Mavericks, but it could be, right? Or it could be the Knicks, right? Or, we'll see. So, like I said, let's have some fun. And, yeah, I got a lot of stuff going. And if you ever have any questions, anybody, just hit me up. My DMs are open. We can talk sports, and have some fun. Or if you got questions about media stuff and all that, I can try to help you the best way I can.
All right. It's really weird, right? I have a hard time promoting myself, and I think sometimes you do too. So what I want everybody to do, because there's over 200 people, go and minimize Twitter if you can, and hit your internet button, whether it's Safari or Chrome, and then in the Google search, type in @Cihendo, and you'll see it pop up on Instagram and on Twitter and on YouTube, and go ahead and shoot him a follow, because independent journalism matters, and very few people do it better than this man, and it's only because they've been doing it longer than him, right? So make sure that when you hear somebody who is an independent journalist and you see him interviewing or her interviewing players, that is the source that you want to follow, not necessarily somebody who's what let's just call him a desk reporter. There's nothing wrong with it, but they're not out there talking to the actual people all the time in person in their element. That's what Cihendo specializes in, and that's why you should follow him. So make sure you shoot that follow button.
Yeah, definitely. If you ever have questions, like if you're interested in getting into journalism, I mean, I'm still working my way up. I've been doing it for over a decade, but like I said, I enjoy anybody that wants to have a good conversation or need any ideas or just help, man, because at the end of the day, we got to help. We're a community, right? Like, I'm no different than y'all. I just got lucky and got access eventually. I worked 10 years in to get it, and I'm here now in a certain space, and been fortunate to cover the NBA and Major League Baseball and different sports like boxing as well, and do dabble in the NFL every once in a while. But like I said, at the end of the day, it's all about y'all. Like I said, everybody in this room right now, whatever Chris pops up, if it's on audio, if it's on YouTube, if he decides to do anything, y'all just hit that retweet button one time. That's all it takes. One retweet. You got to think about it. If you got 100 people following you, somebody's going to see it, and then somebody else can retweet it. So a simple like, a simple anything for anybody in this room, just click on their profile and just look at their page and give them a retweet. You don't have to agree with everything that someone says, but at the end of the day, it's about exposure. We need more people like us and that are out there that don't have the blue check, right? Because like I tell people all the time, I tell Chris this all the time. People will come to my page, they don't see a blue check, and what they use as the blue check is like he's not verified, so I can't trust him. But then when you go actually look up what I've probably done in the last 10 years, they'll say, oh, wait a minute, Kevin Durant, Mike Trout, these guys. And like I said, you never know who you're talking to in these spaces. And like I said, then everybody got a dream, man. Just like I think everybody in this room has some sort of like admiration to cover sports or do something, do it. Don't, just understand that it's going to take time. And like I said, I'm happy for Chris, man, just watching his growth. And like I said, Who Space is really dope, man, because at the end of the day, I probably met more cool. I never would have thought. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I never would have thought I would have said I would have met a cool Knicks fan, but I'd have met a couple of y'all that I think that are cool, and I'd have met some Hawks fans because the Hawks and Mavs fans, they got their little beef about who and who. But man, I'd have met a lot of cool Hawks fans, man. That I would definitely, when I go to Atlanta, man, I'm gonna have to meet up with them and have dinner with them, man, on me, because like like I said, I'm amazed at some of the takes. Now I gotta have a talk with Hawks Fan TV. Some of his takes get egregious, but that's my guy though. I love him to death, man. So shout out to everybody, man. That's in here.
I love Alex too, and like I try to tell people, if you have an idea and you want to try it, like the only reason you haven't done it is because you've told yourself you can't do it. That's literally the only thing stopping you. And like I use this as an explanation. I'm a disabled vet who's a single father who survives on $27,000 a year because I didn't work to try to help build this idea that I had. My son's school cost $18,000. Like I have scraped everything that I can. I have begged, borrowed, and promised to pay back people in my family to make sure that I had a chance to chase a dream, right? But that dream chase didn't materialize overnight. It materialized over a gradual time of I really have this idea, I really have this opportunity, and I really have this time. And people like C. Hendo or Josiah, like they are my forefathers in this journey. So if you do have an idea, like Pickup Card Game had, or like Optimistic Pels Fan has, or Half Court Heat has, like this is us telling you, you're the only person stopping you trying, and you fail 100% of the times that you don't try.
Yeah, and don't be afraid, man, because like, one thing I had to get over was the fear of like, well, these dudes don't want to talk to me. I'm talking about these athletes because I don't have a name for myself, and I used to think that. And some of the best advice I got was from Steve Nash back in 2007. Steve Nash told me, if you're ever going to be yourself and you want to talk to these, just be yourself. You seem like a pretty cool dude. And I think that we all fall trapped sometimes because we watch, or I don't watch, but people watch First Take. They watch those shows and they think the only way you can be in this industry is like them. No, you don't. You don't have to, man. Like at the end of the day, there's a lot of independent journalists that cover sports, but you got to be pure about it. You got to work hard too. Like I said, at the end of the day, it's not given. Like, man, I still get denied for things, but at the end of the day, I cover Major League Baseball full time in the NBA. I'm able to go to any game I pretty much want to, and it took me a while to do it, man. And like I said, it's about being genuine, and like I made sure that I stuck to my type of content, right? Like everybody has their own content, but like I said, I've been blessed enough to have, some of the biggest. I mean, LeBron has been on my platform several times. KD, like Mike Trout, as y'all see right up there. You name a player, and like I know my guy Saint down there. Somebody tweeted the other day, who hasn't he not interviewed? And if you go to YouTube page, you probably gonna find everybody you can think of. And like I said, I've been blessed enough to do it, man. And like I said, it's all about just, being thankful. And like I said, at the end of the day, I'm all for jokes and having fun with fans and stuff because that's what we do, right? Like at the end of the day, you got to be strong-hearted in this industry. But at the end of the day, man, I really want to see everybody eat regardless of how people treat each other. We got to be good to each other, man. Because like I said, Chris came to me genuinely. Like people hit me up in the DMs and I try to give them advice. Like I'm still getting there myself. But at the end of the day, I think for me, I didn't have that person, right? So I feel like I need to be that person for other people. And like, I don't have a problem connecting you or getting you in the right way or just let you know what it's going to take, man. Because you don't need much, man. Like, don't think you need an $8,000 camera to do videos. All my interviews are done with an iPhone. I don't have a, expensive camera to do all that stuff. You don't need all that stuff to be effective, man. Like,
You just got to have the bare minimum, but you got to work hard. You can fix all the other stuff up. So, like I said, just keep grinding out there. Y'all do y'all thing. And, like, man, look, man, be great. Because, like I said, this NBA free agency is a big time for a lot of y'all to make a name for yourself. And what I mean is, like, when somebody signs with somebody, start doing that right up. Start doing those spaces about it. Jump in these spaces, start giving good analytical things about it. And like I said, I'm inspired by all y'all, man. Like I said, I see, K-Dot, I see Bibbs, I see all y'all down there. I see all y'all, man. Y'all been doing y'all thing, and I'm proud of everybody in this space right now, man, because y'all have elevated. Some of y'all have elevated to the point where I'm starting to see y'all name get hit by some of the mainstream people that I deal with. So keep doing it, man. Let's break that ground. Let's break the wall and, get everybody in there. So one day I can look up at a Mavs game and one of y'all come up to me and we can joke around about how we the new media, as they say, right? So I hope to see everybody in the building, man. Now, if y'all come up with that crazy stuff like them Knicks fans be doing, we may have to have a talk. But other than that, we good.
Yeah, I wanna pay people paychecks. That's what I want to do.
I really want to see. Out of all people, I want to see if we can get Bankai on like ESPN one day. I'm gonna make that happen.
Yeah, I knew Chris was gonna do it. Look, I gotta say, man, that was so goddamn inspiring, man. I really appreciate you sharing that. Like, you just fired me the fuck up. I gotta say that.
We got good knowledge, man. I appreciate it.
Nah, man, just keep doing what y'all doing, man. Like, I'm telling y'all right now, man, you be shocked at when y'all tweet these athletes, and I say this all the time, y'all be shocked at how many athletes actually do look at y'all tweets. Because they do. I've seen it firsthand. I've literally seen someone tweet an athlete, and the athlete's looking at the tweet like, should I respond? And you never know what response you can get. What if you reach out to a certain athlete and say, hey, can I interview you? You'd be shocked. They may set you up with an interview. That's how I got lucky. Everybody gets lucky, man. Like, I would have never thought half of the guys I would have interviewed. I don't have any close
That's
ties,
actually funny, my man.
Hold up. We got 3 minutes to a hard out. 3 minutes to a hard out. Like, I want to get a couple more things in here. Optimist Pels fan, you haven't given us anything for your free agency. We got you, Mikey Kobrinsky. I want to give a shout out to Tej Desai down below. I'm not going to be able to get you up in today. If you come through tomorrow, I'll get you. Optimist Pels fan, you got 40 seconds. Go.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so there's a huge rift between the Pels community. I would say there's a faction that wants Griff and Trajan to be aggressive. Use the remainder of the Bucks picks and the Lakers picks to go get someone that could help us win today. I'm on the opposite side of that. I want to see EJ Liddell and Dyson Daniels get as many minutes as possible coming up for the next season. I have no idea how EJ Liddell fell to 41. He's 6'7", he's like 245, 250. And the dude does like drop step midi pull-ups and fadeaway jumpers. You would think, since he's got the body composition of like a freight train and a bowling ball, that he would just be bowling people in the paint. But he's doing these crazy finesse moves. So I just want to see. I want to see him and Dyson Daniels do a million pick and rolls, pick and pops during summer league. But that's my only free agency take for the Pels. I want them to stay pat. They're probably going to trim the fat around the roster. Maybe a Devontae Graham move. Hopefully not a Jackson Hayes move, but a lot of Pels fans seem to be in favor of that. But ultimately, I want to mirror what Chris was saying. C. Hendo, like, if you've got an idea, man, approach Chris about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a really inspiring person, and I've never made so many videos, edited music, made music in the last week than I have my whole entire life, and it's just something that I really enjoy doing, and I never would have started doing that without Chris kind of telling, like, pretty much just saying he believed in me, and it's just a really good feeling.
He dropped because he looks like Rodney Rogers and plays like Rodney Rogers.
That's wild. Come on, Chris. That's wild. Have you seen a 250, 60-pound man do a hop step and hit a 15-foot midi? That's crazy, man.
It's Rodney Rogers. I just said it.
Sounds just like Rodney.
Gosh, like, hey, he dropped because he's like Rodney Rogers. Have you ever seen this? Yes.
And you know what make it worse about that Rodney Rogers thing that I said about Julius Randle? In true story, I literally sat next to Julius Randle at a Texas Rangers game not so long ago, and that got brought up. Hilarious. Hilarious. That tells you how far hoop spaces get. You never know who knows somebody, and that gets that. And of course, me and Julius laughed about it. He's a good guy. He's a good friend. But yeah, Rodney Rogers with a jump with a left hand is crazy, and it actually got out. I just want to know who told on me. That's all I want to know. Who gonna snitch on me?
It
Somebody
wasn't.
snitched on me, and I had to.
It definitely wasn't me, but I can tell you that it was probably a player because they be in here.
It was probably. I think it was Bankai. You know, Bankai might have some sources in the Knicks, so we'll see.
Mikey, you got like 15 seconds. Sorry, bro. Go.
All right, I'll get it as quick as I can. Thanks for letting me up. All right, so obviously we just traded for DeJounte. Super happy about that. But in free agency, I'm one of the people of Hawks camp who does not want DeAndre Ayton. I do not feel he would make a big difference on this team. Clint Capella, I want him to stay. And then I want to sign either PJ Tucker, Bobby Portis, or Nick Batum. For the Hawks, for that backup four, I'm not sure if Jalen Johnson's ready yet. So that's what I want to see. But really, I'm really excited about this. Really excited about this season for the Hawks because we're gonna come back from our last season disappointment. But yeah, really excited for free agency to start.
All right. I'm going to give some final shout-outs. Shout out to Megaloo and every Sacramento Kings fan. I'm sorry. Like, that's just all I'm going to say. I don't need to say anything else. Because if I do, y'all people going to be like, see, he works for the Kings. I'm sorry. I apologize. All right, look. Don Knock and Will, guarantee, probably space. Bibbs and the Mavs Outsiders, that's Bibbs Corner and Minder Reese. You also have 77 spaces tonight. You've got the Hoopstresses tonight for the WNBA. You got Pickup Card Game to follow. Make sure you follow this journey through Rucker Park and across basketball courts across the country. Shout out to Brandon, a.k.a. The Rubric. Hopefully everything is good, my man. Great to see you in here. I got to go. I appreciate all of you coming in. I appreciate all of you sharing, and I appreciate all of you helping make Hoop Faces what it is. And ESPN, CBS Sports Radio, and Fox Sports Radio, and Turner Sports, and the league office. I know 7 of you are in here. Like, I know that is your burner. Hire me already. Like, y'all talk about it. Like, just send me a proposal. Let's see what we can do to build together, right? Anyway, I'm out. See you later.
Pay this man.
Chris said, bring me my money.
If you missed this episode, ladies and gentlemen, catch us on YouTube, powered by audiolabs.io. Pick up your copy of the pickup card game, slamgoods.com. Check out the women's basketball podcast with K. Lou. Check out the Hoopstresses tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Nets Kingdom will be holding some type of Brooklyn Nets free agent room. I don't know why. Last thing I'm going to say, ladies and gentlemen, shame on you for not wanting Tony Snell as a Golden State Warrior. That's right. Shame on you. Career 39.6% three-point shooter defending multiple positions from the wing. That's what I got. Peace out.